The stardate is 60661.7. You are not where you last remember, and you find yourselves at different posts than you last recall. It's a 2-threat game. And we rapidly go over to somewhere board ship. I'll note with that start date, a significant amount of time has passed.
Mm-hmm. So we have no intervening memory?
I will get to that presently.
All right.
So we've been on a long road getting from there to here.
No.
Oh my
Shush.
god, one joke.
I'm now happy I'm not the only one who yells at you now. That just fills my day with joy.
One joke.
And the
Captain,
reason why I keep telling you the joke is because as you guys keep giving me attention for it.
Oh my god.
so you're saying we should ignore you?
I try to.
Alrighty then.
Not the map layer. That would be silly. These people aren't here. Boop. Pend.
Hello.
You're in your ready room. Your last memory, you were on I believe you were on the bridge waiting to see what the away team was doing and kind of giving them like ship to away team support. You're not on the bridge. You're suddenly sitting in your ready room. And a quick glance at the stardate tells you what the stardate is. Because it'd be like in the corner of your computer.
What stardate does it appear to be?
60661.7. The last recorded date you had before the Battle of the Iconian Gate was around 60403.8. It's been hundreds of star dates since you've last officially recorded anything.
So, no logs of any kind?
So you start pulling up logs on your computer?
Yeah, I would certainly like to.
Cool. Control plus command, difficulty of 1. You're just pulling up logs. The ship's helping you. You're also accounting for any possible strangeness. It's like, oh, maybe I did an Omega protocol thing and I sealed stuff off, and I can unlock that. Or maybe there's an intelligence thing I needed to do. Okay, I'll unlock that too. Like, you're double checking yourself, because this isn't the first time for Pend alone, never mind a Starfleet officer, runs into strange bubbles of time. Especially veterans. Veterans run into this stuff at least once in their career.
Would you accept the focus of composure?
I would. This is quite strange.
I would like to give you a threat, please.
Certainly.
Ship is computer.
You look over the records. You gain some momentum. And your last stardate had you going. That's actually on computer. Is 60403.8. You are still en route to the gate, the gate system. You hadn't gotten there yet, but everything after that has been purged.
Am I able to discern whether this is temporal or someone else is doing?
For momentum, I'll answer. You did it.
Interesting. Do I know why I did it?
Why, yes.
Oh.
Episode over.
Well, sounds fair.
Insight Command difficulty 2, as you try to puzzle out why you might do that, given the context of what's happened so far. I've already given a couple of possibilities, and you raised one. It could be a time thing. It could be a Omega thing. Could be an intelligence thing.
Would you allow the focus in mental prowess?
I would, as you're trying to suppose even the more outlandish possibilities.
Take another threat.
Certainly.
I won't fish.
You think this has something to do with what you found on the ship. There's something so important that you contain the information, that you purged it. And it'd have to be something that Pend himself would think, because it's a captain's order. No one ordered, because you're in deep space. This prerogative was on you. It's your codes. So, but the biggest threat that you might, because if it was an Omega thing, there'd be records. You'd have Omega, as per Omega directive, yada yada, purged under this log, or be classified in some manner, or be biometrically locked to you only, that sort of thing. But this is purged even so much that you don't know. Further, you don't seem to be remembering it in your own head. That implies memory alteration medically, which requires your doctor to have participated. You must have found something incredibly dangerous on that ship.
Is it possible that I, without leaving myself actual information, left myself some form of a hint where even memory wiped pen could go, oh, it's on that lines?
For 2 threat, you certainly could.
Sure.
You look about the room. And you start thinking back to certain Section 31 protocols, because when Starfleet wipes something, they wipe something. They don't like leaving stuff behind. If they're gonna erase something, they erase something. Section 31 doesn't like erasing things. It hates doing that. It doesn't mind erasing other people's memories and destroying other people's stuff, but they don't like losing their stuff. They hate that, because that's them not having something or knowing something, and that's always a weakness to them. So you probably use some Section 31 tricks to keep something, and it'd be something so subtle only you or maybe a Section 31 agent might have found, but they'd have to know that you were looking. You know what I mean? So unless you reported that to somebody, it's unlikely they would know. And what you find that you grasp about.
You found God and he wanted your spaceship. No.
And a mind wipe stopped that.
Yeah.
That would be just pretend. Not going down that rabbit hole.
You see a little carving, kind of a little wooden actually not wooden, a little ice carving sitting on your desk. Now, one with an Ushan as a way to pass time, one might practice their, or just, it's just a thing some Andorians do. They kind of whittle ice. If they're actually going to sculpt, there's a proper tool for that, and you use a huge block of ice. But if you're just, fiddling around, you might replicate a bit of very cold ice and shave at it a bit and make something. And you can actually see it sort of melting in front of you. and you recognize that that's a way to leave yourself a clue that would melt over time. So whatever this was, whatever this memory reset was, it happened fairly recently because the ice is melting, but it hasn't lost its form too much, like just enough that because you had that thought of I'm looking for something, you noticed it, and it appears to be this strange asymmetric mass of crystal, which seems to have some sort of control knob or dial. Well, that's the carving. Looks to be about the size of like a Type 1 phaser, like around that sort of palm size. Like it was a hunk of ice you must have carved at. It's kind of crude because Penn doesn't have an ice carving focus or anything. He's a guitarist, not a ice carver, so you kind of have to think of something quickly that you would be able to replicate for yourself that the computers wouldn't be able to notice and only you would understand. Whatever this item is, it's of mass importance because you went through the trouble of carving it. And made sure it was in plain view. Like you couldn't accidentally, because it would stand out on your desk. Like even if you didn't think of it now, you would have probably looked at that one. Why is there a hunk of ice melting on my desk?
Interesting. The only like crystalline thing on the ship would be in a secure room, so that would something I could check on. But just make sure there's no other logs, even if it's maintenance, scanner logs, security logs, anything whatsoever for the missing period.
It's all blanked, completely purged from top to bottom. Peter, there's this big gap in your records. Even personal logs are gone. Like there's nothing.
I mean, if there's nothing left on the computer that's grabbing my attention, I'll head down to that room.
And you do notice there's apparently there was something on your computer.
Oh, I'll bring it up.
It looks like you were in the middle of reading a certain set of orders that you are aware of.
Yes. Fantastic.
It would appear that you only noting the star date in the orders. That was sent some time ago, almost a week or so ago, and you probably only just now got in range to receive the message. Because if you're far away enough, it takes time for messages to get to you. So you probably either it caught up to you, given the current star date relative to that one, you must have moved toward the signal and then caught it.
Well,
Hence why you probably headed to the ready room, because it's a priority 1 order, so you had to read whatever it was.
yeah. Well, given that, I'll hand out the relevant requirements to senior staff and command staff, so they can be prepared upon arrival.
Who do you call first?
I will be calling up Commander Throlic.
Do. New scene. Commander Throlic.
Yes.
You sit the bridge. You are not standing. Your last memory was that last dash away from that plasma fire filled room. Some people were falling behind. You're getting ready to beam people over, and you're on the bridge of the Achilles.
I would like to surreptitiously survey the people on the bridge and see if anybody else is having a similar reaction.
Insight command difficulty 2.
Focus in observation.
I'd say so.
Right. And calm in the storm trait.
Div 1.
Right. Rolling 2 dice. Wow. Letting that stand. Hit the difficulty, but have a comp.
I'll take 2 threat.
Alright.
Actually, I know what to do. Looking about the room, you see a couple familiar faces who are similar in confusion. One Ensign Ven and Lieutenant Rylov, and Lieutenant Erlin are all kind of you're all having that same moment of, wait, I wasn't here. Like Arlen, you were in the shuttle bay working on the shuttle. Ven, you were on the mission as well, I believe. Rylov, did Rylov go as well?
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, there's this distinct feeling of where none of you should be on the bridge. Among the general crew, there is a look of confusion, but they look to you guys, the senior staff. They look at you to kind of for guidance, like, huh, what? Then you notice everyone in the science sensor ops is looking at you. You don't see Drebin, and you're sitting in the senior science officer seat.
Ven just blinks for a couple of seconds.
Like you're
looks
usually,
around.
because you're usually over here, not over
Yeah.
here.
What's the emotions I'm getting off of the people around me?
Building sense of panic, but also trying to find something to focus on, trying something an anchor in the storm, a spot on the horizon, something to keep them from feeling this sense of falling, uncontrolled, tumbling, falling.
Ven is going to immediately just trying to stay cool. He's going to look down at the sensor operations terminal in front of him. What's in front of him?
Reason plus science. Difficulty of 2. Sensors. SNESORs plus science.
Okay. Sensor operations focus.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna roll this cold.
Gained some momentum.
Okay. Oh wait, there is. But wait, there's more. Okay. Okay. Um. Does it conform with Federation standard?
You want that to be your question?
Yes. Okay. Huh. All right. Commander, I'm detecting a Starfleet starbase dead ahead.
Registry.
Am I getting a registry off of it?
Or designation, whichever one is.
Or designation?
I'll eat one of your momentum for that.
Well, hold on. Before you do that, then hang on. You'll have to eat that momentum.
Yep.
Starbase 354.
Right? And then I'll answer my combat edge that's beeping. Thralic here.
Commander, could you come to the ready room?
On my way, Captain. We're approaching Narendra Station.
Understood. Probably best off if you bring the senior staff as well.
Understood.
End
Captain's
call.
orders, senior staff meeting.
Okay. Before
And
I leave
Thralic
my
will stand up from the command chair, but is waiting for other people to move before moving herself. Like, she is signaling to the bridge, the senior staff are going and having a meeting. Everybody in senior staff, go do that.
Shishashrir taps something on her panel and then taps her comm badge and says, Commander Jaishu to the bridge, please. Commander Jaishu to the bridge, please. Respond. And she looks back at Thralic.
I'll look over at Shrir a little bit confused as well. Computer location of Commander Jaishu.
Roll for the computer for the ship. It rolls 2 dice, and it rolls its
doing this.
sensors.
Yeah.
It's sensors plus command.
Oh, I love that this is a thing now.
Me too. I am so here for it.
I think that was computers command.
Sensors.
Sensors.
Oh, sensors command.
Internal sensors for this.
Subject is in their quarters. Shashir just kind of shrugs and taps her comm badge again. Lieutenant Brawl Cham to the bridge, please.
Commander.
I'll be up. Just give me a second.
All right.
Commander, do you wish me to check on the other commander before attending the meeting?
Arlen, you do 2 stress damage to yourself.
Okay. Had that coming.
Uh-huh. To right level, just go. Not at the moment, Lieutenant.
Yeah, very well.
Commander, may I go to the briefing room, or do you?
Go. Proceed.
Go. Ben goes over to the turbo lift, and as soon as the doors close behind him, he also says, computer? Location of Ensign Draben?
Roll sensors command difficulty of 1.
Okay. I will roll that. And we're getting our usage out of this one. Sensors command.
I'm such a fan of this not new, but like newly fleshed out thing.
Well, I like when the starship gets to roll more than 1 die.
Yeah.
Subject is not aboard the ship.
Okay. All right, I'll check the computer records when I get to the conference room.
And new scene.
At least be happy.
Wait, who did you ask for?
Draben, you know, the guy who's usually our science officer.
Okay.
And Jaishu was apparently in her quarters but did not respond.
I should also take a turbo lift.
Well, I mean, unless you can travel through the power of your mind.
Some of us can, some of us
No,
can't.
no, 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 no. Oh yes, new scene. I pull
Anyone can
over to-
travel anywhere through the power of imagination.
Or a holodeck.
Or a library card.
It's in a book. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boop. Do 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 do. Where the hell? There you are. Ah. So last we left off with Counselor Aza and little Tabin. They had a nice heartfelt moment after the rather jarring revelation of Reixa having to be stasis pod, and well, you know what? Aza just kind of focused on taking care of the one civilian on the ship, rather than like the ship as a whole can come to her later probably when they need things, but right now there's a child in distress, and now you're in the counselor's office, not your quarters. Azal, note that there is a med kit right next to your chair. You don't normally have your med kit in the room with you, because if you need it, you can just walk outside, grab it off the wall. You have your kit like right there with you.
Sometimes I have one too many chocolate bars and end up randomly in engineering after a binge, so this is normal behavior.
Insta is going to frown, and she's going to say, and she's going to close her eyes and say, "Okay, retrace your steps." And I want to mentally try to
Well,
track how I
before-
got from where I am to where I was. I'm
I
sorry.
thought you were saying that out loud, so I was gonna have Tobin like start retracing his steps.
Sure, she'll say it out loud to herself.
Insight
Then-
medicine difficulty 3. Tabin can assist hilariously.
All right, focus in meditation.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
See, I was waiting for Taven to like make the incredibly obvious joke of him like taking out a piece of paper and tracing his footprint. Tracing his step.
There is a higher art to my comedy than that.
One threat, please.
One threat, you say?
Yes. Oh
No.
no.
Uh,
Okay.
Focus and intuition, because
Sure. Also, it's insight, not fitness.
That's one better for me, so same result.
Oh, that's why I rolled so poorly. So that's probably
Yeah. 7 versus 11. So your hit numbers were 15.
Yes, that's two more.
yeah, that's 2 more. My
Okay.
bad.
It's okay. You're used to me
Out of
doing fitness
practice.
medicine, so I wasn't surprised. Like, oh, I know why that happened.
No, it's because that's what it was on last night. I forgot.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by my count. So 2 momentum is generated. So you guys, the last we left off with you two were in exam room 2. There was that rather harried rescue. There was a few days after that, in the episode that Aza was away and Tabin wasn't present as well. So you were I imagine you were more focused on I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like going to quarters, to the holodeck, to the lounge. Well, maybe not to the lounge because there's no one there usually. Well, there's other crew, so you might take him to the lounge. You know, things that keep Taben from not going into the stasis room. But you two tell me what you would have done for like 2 days before in transit to the target system, to the gate system.
You know, I've always wanted to see some of those holonovels about the occupation.
Um. Okay. If that's what's going to keep your mind off of things, I will sit down and watch the Ken Burns documentaries about the occupation of Bejor.
Nothing that highbrow.
Okay.
I want to play Bajoran Call of Duty and go murk some Cardassians.
Oh, okay.
If you, I will do it. I will watch Ken Burns the Bajoran occupation like as a requirement to play Bajoran Call of Duty, but like not unless you force me.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let you participate in such violent activities unless you watch the Ken Burns documentary on the Resort occupation.
Press F to pray to the prophets.
Man, things really broke down when all the when all the Cardassians started smoking weed and bombing bombing Bajor.
Cardassian zombies.
That was the expansion later
Yeah,
on, but that was the
That
whole
shit,
novel
that
was
didn't
really
make sense.
reaching.
Like, yeah,
The
they
Cardi
just
Zombies expansion.
yeah, the that was just a money grab, right?
Yeah, but like it has its whole own dedicated fan base, and now it's like too big to be removed, so we just kind of have to keep dragging it around.
No. It would totally be
Then
Cardassian vampires because you see, it's a metaphor for how they were sucking Bajor dry.
Oh,
Yeah.
That Spoonhead's the Masquerade.
And
Yeah.
you get the gold-plated
Wow, this-
zebra print and Type 3 phasers.
Oh my god, this joke is.
So
joke is
you were
taking
having a
me
rather
to the next-
eventful and educational time.
Apparently.
So, but now
Yeah,
you're
you
in
still-
here.
Which is
Okay.
confusing because today you promised me you were going to teach me how to field strip a phaser.
I did, but I promised you would do that only after you completed your geometry homework. Now, do I see any completed geometry homework?
Isa, your comm badge beeps.
I will tap it and say, counselor here.
Hi, counselor. It's Cham. Cap's called for a senior staff meeting, so passing that along. I just noticed no one called you, so I'm calling you now.
Well, understood. I will be there as soon as I can. And
Thank you.
over and out. I want to grab a pad. Can I look at like my schedule for the day and I guess what I'm looking for is, do I have anything else on the books, or no, that's not what I'm looking. What have I been doing these past few days? Or scrap this line of questioning. Okay. Here's what I would like to do. I would like to look through my own counselor logs and see if I can just, because I assume I'm just having like an elderly brain fart moment. I would like to retrace through my logs for the past few weeks and see what I've been up to.
Between the star dates of 60661.7 and 60403.8, is nothing. Not a word. Not a meeting. Not a house call. Not a crisis event. Not a morale meeting. Those are always fun. Find your morale buddy, but it's mandatory. You have to do those. But you don't even have the mandatory counselor things you're supposed to do, or the No notes about medical meetings. The only thing you know is that your day schedule looks to be a standard check-in with, like a standard check-in with various members of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're scheduling ahead of time for when you're trying to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one person that in particular is absent, and that is Ensign Drebin. Ensign Drebin isn't on your record, which he has a regular thing for personal health reasons. But you basically have to see him every couple weeks just so he can do his job effectively. Which that's part of your job. That's fine. But either he had a miraculous revelation of how to break through his particular mental illness, or he stopped
Or
going,
he's denying treatment.
but you don't have any
Okay.
record of a denial. Like, it's weird. Like, you don't have him scheduled, but normally when you don't schedule somebody, you'd have somewhere in your record, hey, this is why.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember later.
Do I
Or
have
if another counselor
records
comes
of-
on, they know.
Do I have records of previous meetings with Draven?
Everything before that start date and back. So it's
Okay.
essentially been, to give you a more exact number, because I know I've been floating 2 start dates at you, and I'll give you all a better idea of how much time's passed. So I just realized that there's going to be a disconnect there. The more I say it, it makes sense.
What, we're not all fluent in converting star dates to 21st century time?
You're looking at about a 94-day gap, roughly.
Okay.
So a significant amount of time is absent.
Okay. So before I do anything, I'm going to do what I do best. Or, well, not what I do best, but what I always do. And I would like to bust out the candlesticks and the incense and pray to the prophets for guidance here. And I'm going to turn around and say, Tabin, I feel a sudden urge to reach out for guidance because the path behind me is clouded. Would you like to participate?
I don't think so. Because, meta, I have a value now that says don't peek behind the curtain lest you find the paw wraiths. So, but I, to get everyone in the spiritual mood, I can play some Bajoran Bakel'Lavan, whatever the Bajoran harp thing is. I could do some mood music.
You can do some mood music in the lounge area, please, Stephen. I will check in with you in a few hours then. You are free to
That's
go.
a long prayer.
Well, I also have other duties to attend to other than raising you.
Cool. I wanted to try out some of those things we learned in the holodeck.
Tabin?
I'm gonna go be a guerrilla warrior.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that. That's what Tabin is doing.
Okay.
I'm going to
Then-
go stalk people in hallways and Jeffrey's tubes, and I'm not gonna attack anyone, but I'm going to practice, the old ways.
Out of sight, out of mind. That's someone else's problem now.
Not realizing that as soon as he enters another Jeffrey's tube, security's going to be notified.
That's the fun. If they're not chasing you, it's not real.
God damn it.
Daring security diff 5. This is a high security vessel. Good luck. Because eventually a hoplite's gonna be like, what are you doing in here?
Alright, let me look at all the things I can do.
Oh,
Not much, because I'm a kid.
Ideally, it's not immediately a hoplite, but
I mean, I've been trying to get them more personable.
Because I'm doing this to avoid spiritual activity, will you take not peeking behind the curtain?
No. Neat stretch though.
How about seeing nothing wrong with this because I'm basically a member of Starfleet Medical? Like, this is not a wrong thing to do. Starfleet Medical people can get in the Jeffries tubes.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Why do I? Oh, I must have had a free determination last. I burned a value and then never used it. I was wondering why I had 2 determination marked.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna spend 3 momentum and 2 threat. Actually, I'll just give you threat because of the metal. I can roll challenge dice to remove threat, so just take 5 threat. Focus and intuition to avoid being found.
I'll take it. Because it's not like you're a part of the briefings.
Oh no.
Complication get thrown back in the brig.
No. Stop throwing children in the brig.
You only get 1 of the threat I spent.
Okay. I believe you're sitting at what, 3 right now? I think you're short. I mean, you're a kid, so you are short, but you're short the needed successes.
Let me see. I mean, why not burn a value, right?
So aggressive.
Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Aggressive.
I know. Actually, see
Oh,
that.
no.
The thing is, do we have any like directives?
None applicable.
Okay. See, I'm pretty sure I could burn the member of Starfleet one here, but I don't know what I would spend it on.
Sometimes you just got to accept a roll.
That's not fun.
Especially not while I'm here.
You can strike the prophets teach us to heal mind, body, mind, and pach. You're not doing what the prophets teach you.
Didn't they teach us to get out there and mow down Cardassians?
No, they did not.
Okay, well then I'll burn that.
If that's exactly what they told, Fogger would still be a priest.
Mm-hmm.
The priesthood would just be the military at that point.
Yeah. I do like this representation of like rapid childhood development by burning values constantly.
Well, right. The only
good.
way the child gets better is if people assist me in tasks and use their determination.
Yeah.
And since instead of that I get locked in prison, I don't think development's going to be a thing.
I mean, you're
I'll spend
growing and changing. We'll say that.
I'll spend that
Plus
on
your core values will probably fluctuate a lot in your childhood years as you're defining what a core value will be.
Exactly.
So just what
that gets me 5
psychiatrists
successes.
call an adverse childhood
Awesome.
environment.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey.
Not even the hoplite's good enough to find me.
Taven, as you're crawling about the ship, you learn something. You learn that there's a very special room that you can get into that no one else can get to.
This is what you get for locking me in prison. I'm gonna go.
And-
I'm not the one who locked you in prison.
Penn did though.
Sure. I'll go into the room that I'm not supposed to be in.
Okay.
Because that's how you avoid the Cardassians, right? The Cardassians never look for you in the Overseer's office.
Exactly. Or his private smoking room or whatever, you know.
It is kind of weird. I was just thinking about that. You know, of all the things they showed Cardassians doing, they probably couldn't have shown them smoking. It was already taboo.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why you show them as bad guys, you see. Only bad guys smoke. But that all said, my
Remember,
thank you
kids, Bajorans don't do drugs.
yeah.
I don't
Aza,
know.
Drugs.
I have trauma 3 mother. I might be very soon.
Aza, I'm gonna ask you. Well, I'll present you two options here. So
Go ahead.
one is the opposite, obvious of insight plus command, or perhaps even con, difficulty of 5, to get some insight in your prayers and meditations.
Mhm.
Or you can spend a determination to temporarily gain the ESP talent. And people who've done that before, I think it's for the scene, not the mission. Or it's just for that role.
It's definitely at least for the role. I mean, at least for
It's
the
for
scene.
the scene.
It's for the scene.
You-
That's
Yeah. I've always
you
used
have
it
to
on
follow
things
to
that
the scene.
only fire once per
Yeah.
like scene.
So you could get ESP for this scene, which is about to close here after this, but so expensive. But in exchange for that, you could give me one threat, and I can give you a hint. Like you would, as opposed to the narratively speaking, the difference is Aza meditating, and then kind of in her own mind, she's able to kind of piece together something in a sort of abstract, lateral thinking sort of way through her meditation. Or through ESP, she's literally being reached out to by the prophets and being poked in the brain, going, "Here's the hint."
That offer is very enticing, but I think for now I will just go with the roll.
Very good.
Sorry to disappoint. All right.
No, I wanted to I wanted
Okay.
to throw that ball in the air and go, "That's an option you can do," given your character, but it's expensive, so
Focus in meditation.
definitely.
Alrighty. Stiff 5, rolling a 15.
Oh, and technically, the ship can help with structure plus medicine. Because you're in the med bay, you're establishing a meditative environment in your office. This is literally what you probably do in your office.
So the candles and incense are giving me a bonus. Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the
Alright.
ship isn't
they're
turning on
not.
the anti-fire systems and just blowing them out. Like, no, computer, don't do that in here. I want them to burn. It's okay.
Allow flames of these precise parameters
Yeah.
inside.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. I'm probably going to wind up spending the determination anyways if this roll fails. So how about I spend 3 momentum and 4 threat and roll 5 dice.
3 and 3.
3 and 3. Three, 4, 5, 6. All right, you get 1 back.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, Aza, I'm about to reveal something to you. I'm going to type it out to you, but I'm going to go to the conference room. Because I kind of have to think about this because I wasn't expecting you to make that roll. Be 100% honest with you.
3 tricks, okay? I can regurgitate something I learned in therapy, or I can pray to the prophets. I would send a message beforehand saying I am busy. I will be there when I can. But not elaborate further.
I walk into the room and look down to see if I suddenly lost my clothes in the middle of this dream.
You are in fact clothed.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Kobuk's here.
Someone from medical had to show up because Reixa certainly can't.
Oh, great.
And Ram Zarfelt was a civilian, as I recall, not an officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was put off the ship. So
I'm just
my
totally
medical staff support's kind of slim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally picturing he struts back into the conference room, like brushes off his jacket and grabs obviously an end chair. Now he knows what went wrong last time is that he wasn't charismatic enough, so he read a bunch of self-help books in the interim, and now he's going to nail it.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
So Kobuk might not realize yet that like there's missing time because he was in the same exact place as he was previously.
No, he has no idea what anyone's on about.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And does the little ensign that could come into the room?
Yeah. Eh.
Thus is the council assembled.
Does.
All right, time to kill all the Jedi.
Yeah. Execute Order 66. I assume people have noticed some weird ongoings, correct?
To say the least.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Would you like me to investigate?
No. I also can't remember what happened, but I do know that I gave the order for it to go ahead.
You gave the order, sir?
Correct.
Then am I to assume we're under some form of radical information quarantine, Captain?
I would assume so, but I don't remember it.
Understood.
That being said, there's another reason why the senior staff was called here. Oh, senior staff and the cadet.
Quebec will wave.
Yes.
I want to take a look across the table real quickly and make sure that everybody is processing this and not like shutting down from what the captain's saying or anything.
I'm pulling up a report on my pad.
He's there.
Yep. I assumed.
As inscrutable as ever.
I'm mostly looking. I'm glancing around at everybody, but I'm paying a bit more attention to Shashrir and Kobuk and seeing how they're reacting.
Quebec just looks confused.
Probably same for sure. All right. Cool.
Well, while I cannot reveal all of the orders I've just received, the Achilles is to return to Narendra, and the senior staff are to be turned over for an investigation.
All right.
During that time, the rest of the crew will remain on board the Achilles while it's reassigned to reserve fleet status until the investigation is complete.
You understand, Captain, that if we turn up with missing memory and no ship's logs, that'll look extremely suspicious to any form of command audit.
Understood, but those missing files were done with my codes, and I'm getting an idea of why it happened. I don't fully grasp it yet. So if they do have an issue, that will all fall upon me.
Yes, sir.
So we have returned home, to say it that way at least. Or no?
For it seems, yes, we've returned back to our own time, and we were returning back to Narendra, considering where we were and what we were doing.
Ensign Van, will you confirm that we've returned to the proper dimensional state and time frame before we are required to disembark, please?
Yes, sir. Are there any special tests or scans that you request that I run in addition?
Standard suite.
Okay. Additionally, I have no idea where Ensign Draben is. And the ship reports that he's not even on the ship.
Understood.
I'm going to pull up on my pad just a personnel kind of account of the ship and see if he's still listed on crew roster or not.
Testing a theory into practice, GM, or no?
I take it, yeah.
Sweet. So I get a third die, and that becomes diff 2. I'm not going to spend any momentum on this. Hopefully I can just make... Yeah.
Nice.
That's 2 momentum.
All right. And could I use a team dynamics focus or a strategy and tactics focus here, GM?
So your focus is again, sorry?
Team dynamics.
I'd take that.
One, two. Wow. I'm just not rolling well today.
Well, the ship didn't help you.
Yeah, the ship definitely didn't help me.
Okay.
Let that stand.
Yeah. Question here.
Certainly, shoot me the message. Threllic, I'm about to send you a message.
All right.
There you go. And I'm being sent a question. Give me a second. I have to pull that number.
Hmm. Okay. Well, according uh to sensor logs and associated data, we we arrived back in our proper quantum state and uh temporal locale on stardate 60653.5, so about 3 days ago. But that's not the only odd thing. And he motions to you, Captain, and says, your quantum signatures returned to normal.
Okay, considering mine was off, but seems to be a few unexplained things there at the moment.
To say the least. Do you want me to continue looking uh into this?
Not right now. Um, I want you all to go through your relevant departments, check in with people, see if anyone's remembering anything or needs checking up upon. And once you're finished with that, make sure you've got any baggage or things you need to take with you, because again, we'll be departing the vessel.
Do you know for how long, sir?
Indeterminate.
And we don't know for what reason.
It's an investigation. I haven't been given all of the reasons, but it can range from Article 52 to Articles 33, 34, 35. So, a lot.
And we may well have missing personnel.
Here's the thing, guys.
It's possible. That's why I want you all to reach out to your relevant departments first to go through each of your personnel logs, and then once we arrive at Narendra, we can disembark.
Standing orders for the crew, Captain?
The crew will be remaining aboard the Achilles while it's redesignated to reserve fleet duty under the command of Captain Rahara until further notice.
Sir, should we share any details of possible memory alteration with the crew? They will be unnerved, I'm sure, by the experience, as some of us have been.
I'll send it out over a general message, or you can yourself. There's not much we can really do about it right now, but it shouldn't harm to let them know about it.
Understood, Captain. I'll compose an all-hands memo.
Appreciative. So any questions?
Well, yes, but it can wait till after the meeting. I have something I want to check in with you about, Captain, if that's all right.
You may. I'm going to be investigating one or two things before I get my effects in order, but I can stay around for a few questions.
Yeah, it'll be quick.
Anyone else?
Thrall will shake your head.
Negative.
Okay. And just as a note, it's only the senior staff will be taken into custody, not family or anyone else. So, as of right now, everyone is dismissed to go deal with their departments and get prepared.
So,
Yes, Captain. Stand up behind the chair, remaining at attention just in case the captain isn't fully dismissed. But then wait a second and
Just Schreier goes back to the bridge. What does Arlen do?
I guess I'm gonna go and prepare my section.
Okay. What does Kobuk do? If anything in particular.
Oh, I'm playing Kobuk. I apologize. I
Sure.
forgot I was in the scene. Kobuk is no, he probably knows better than to interrogate the captain. Then he will just slip back to medical with the express purpose of telling Counts Theresa what he learned here. And then, how about this? And then after that, he's going to gossip to the other ensigns or the other cadets about what he learned. You'll never believe what secret the captain let me in on.
The top 10 secrets of the bridge. You can hear them from me.
Anson, you wanted to ask me something?
Yes. I have, well, I suppose a concern brought on by Draben's absence. It's caused me to suspect something and also likely need to ask your advice on it. Computer, who's currently the head of the Achilles Science Department?
Head of Science Department is Ensign Amos Venn.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah, Captain, it would appear that I'm in charge of the entire science department, a position that I currently have no experience in. Completely running a department, that's a level of command skill that I haven't acquired yet. Or maybe I have, and I've just forgotten it all.
Well, as of right now, until we figure out what has happened, which we can't figure out right now, you are the acting head of the science department. So, you do have a department you need to go debrief.
Yes, understood. And for part of that reason, might it be possible to requisition someone from command just to help me handle some of the paperwork?
Sure. Reach out to someone in the command department and it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Yeah, thanks. That's really about it.
Mechanically, that will be either a crew support spend or you're spending one momentum to have a command detail.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna bring in Vizan.
Oh, could do that as well, yeah.
that's golden.
Yep.
I am so here for this.
Uh-huh.
Well, if there's nothing else, I've got one or two places and a few people I need to speak to. Listen.
Of course, Captain. Let me know if you need anything from the science department. Ooh, say. And he steps into the turbo lift and leaves.
Well, I did say I needed to go visit the crystal room. That's where I'm going.
Okay. Oh, here. The new scene jumps to mid bay. And counselor, dee 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 dee, your door's chiming at you.
She's gonna sigh and 1 second, and then I'm going to individually blow out all of the candles.
Dee dee
And
dee.
oh my god, 1 second. By the prophets. She's going to open up the door and just stand in the doorway. What?
Kobuk info dumps at you, quite pleased with himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's thank you, Cadet.
He stands at attention.
Cadet, if you want to make yourself useful, which I know you do, um she's gonna like look backward, or she's gonna like slide backwards and gesture into the room. All of my prayer set is spread out here. If you organize them all into a box nicely and gently, I will put in a good accommodation for you. Do you understand?
Oh my god.
Presence, command, difficulty. Hold on. How smart are you, Copen?
Oh my god.
Where are you, buddy? There you are. God. Diff 1.
Not only will we get a
Okay.
commendation, but we'll give you a treat and rub your belly. Who's a good boy?
Oh, it must
Yes,
be a
I will call
Bajoran
you
thing.
a
It must
good
be
boy.
must be a high honor. Like, yeah, totally.
Who's a good cadet?
Okay, who's a good beta set? Okay.
Who's a good
Who's
Benzite?
a good Benzite? You are.
Oh, benzite. Whoops. Conversation as a focus.
Sure.
You're 23 threat. I'll roll flat.
Yeah, Kobuk doesn't need much prodding. Anything that gets him
No.
extra credit, doesn't matter what it is.
And in that case, then, while he cleans up my office, I guess I will go to my quarters and start cleaning out my room. Because although I'm very confused about this, I assume it's not my place to question orders, and instead guide the other officers when the time comes.
And
Hey, look at the bright side though. If y'all all are suddenly out of jobs because y'all did crimes, do I have the organization ready to hire you?
Lieutenant Arlen,
Yes, sir.
you walk into your engineering bay and see the healthy glow of a dilithium warp core.
That's not what we had before.
And you see a lot of confused engineers, and a few of them start coming over going with lots of questions like, when did this get here? Did we just change this? Is there a drill? Is there a spare? Where's the collider? Where's the Alcaran? And people are just, and if there's anything engineers dislike, it's being surprised, especially when it comes to high power systems that if used incorrectly can either kill them all or send them forward in time 60 times faster. So yeah, you have a crew that's you have an engineering crew that's panicking a little bit.
The situation's under control. This is is a security matter, or just resume normal operations? And
Resume
can I
normal
give
operations. What's happened? What's happened? Are we
Uh,
being attacked? Did someone beam our core out? I mean, what's going on, sir?
I can't elaborate any further.
What?
Shrug.
I mean, you can elaborate further.
Give me presence plus command difficulty of 2 to get your crew back in line. Like, they're not, you can tell they're not happy with it, but if you put your foot down enough, eventually people are going to let it go. You hope.
Surfly protocols as focus.
Yep. Look, I don't care that you don't like it or not. I'm giving you an order. Go do it. Oh, okay.
3 threat. Have fun with
Sure.
that.
Look, Jensen, I don't care if it's your birthday today. It's my birthday? It is my birthday today. Well, I still don't care. Go do your job.
I guess I'm squashing.
Okay.
How?
Okay, I take that back.
With
I
the
didn't mean to
float.
make fun of you, Jensen. Happy birthday, but we really don't have the time.
I generate 2 float. So
But yeah, eventually you're able to get the crew. The crew's not, your engineering crew is not terribly pleased with this, but yeah, they could, whatever's going on, they assume the chief engineer knows best, so they're trusting you on this one. Also, part of that role, you're able to, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you tell them to ready the ship for reserve fleet status?
yes.
Okay, because that there's a particular way you set up a ship for that sort of. You're basically changing the ship's mission profile, and reserve fleet is something any ship can be changed into because it's basically shut off a lot of stuff and cover stuff you don't need, that sort of thing. Like you're mothballing yourself or preparing to mothball yourself. Which people aren't terribly pleased about that order, but read
Yeah,
to
I
first.
I don't like it as much as anyone, but I'm just kind of trusting in that my captain knows what they're doing. Cause I sure as hell don't.
Is there anything Arlen himself in particular does as his crew busies with wrapping up the ship to put it to pasture? Relegated to reserve fleet status well before its 10th year, which is a thing that
Unheard
happens
of.
to ships either because they are so disgraced they had to be decommissioned, or they're so badly made that Starfleet Corps of Engineers basically said, enough of this. We're not flying these anymore. Like the ship before the Galaxy. That ship didn't last that series didn't last very long.
Mm-hmm.
The ambassador.
The ambassadors. Like, there are ambassadors out there. It's like, yeah, they moved on to the Galaxy pretty dang quick, though.
Yeah, I'm just kind of walking around, taking a last looks of the ship. Like, this is our final series, and I'm taking it in before it's gone.
The more you walk around, the more that feels like it's the case.
I like how he's so concerned about the engine and not his husband.
I mean, who really is more Arlen's husband in this scenario?
Point
Does
taken.
that mean? Oh, I didn't make the trauma husband. I made it Yolan. Damn, I should be more generic. Sorry, what? Just thinking out loud.
Haha.
We move on from Arlen back to the bridge. I believe Ryloff was doing something because I got messaged.
Yes.
I will ask you to perform insight plus security diff 5. Because you're trying to defeat your own measures while also not defeating them too easily, because then it wouldn't work. It wouldn't really work the way you want it to work.
Yeah. This is paranoia.
On the plus side, you can activate that Romulan friend of yours if you want her to kind of surreptitiously aid you from somewhere else on the ship, or heck, even probably shouldn't bring her on the bridge, but
No, but I also don't need to stay on the bridge.
yeah, you could have gone off to, you could have talked with her a bit and then came up and checked on stuff. And also the increased difficulty is not just beating. And actually, I had a complication increase. Up to 2. I'll spend it to make 3. I have plenty of threat. Why not? Ship's on edge. Make that a comp 3. Basically, because you're trying to do this, you're trying to learn stuff while also trying to set up the ship. Because mothballing on a security angle is actually if the engineers have a lot to do, security has a lot to do because there's a lot of things you need to make sure are where they're supposed to be, and locked down and locked up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moving parts to this process, and you're doing this at the same time. So
I'm just going to throw the all hands memo into Shackleton logs. So I decided to write that.
Say again, sorry?
Thralic wrote an all hands memo. I'm just throwing that into Shackleton logs.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I told the captain I'd do that.
But yes, I'm guessing the one trait's allowing this to happen. Or no.
Say again?
Paranoid trait.
It's what's letting this happen.
Yeah, that's what I figured. However, I have a focus in paranoia.
Yep.
Okay. I'm like, shit, I'm here. Okay. I have the talent of constantly watching if that comes into play at all, if this counts as a danger or something concealed. It isn't something that's dangerous and concealed.
Hum. Let me think. That's pretty close to the wind there. Does it catch what I'm thinking? The difficulty does decrease by 1.
Okay. Okay. Chuck you a momentum and 2 threat. That complication. Okay, yeah, that's lovely. I can reroll one of those. They're all 18s. All 3 of those are 18s. Just so you know.
Well, rip.
Give me a sec here. Because she's... No, she doesn't. I still passed the roll. That's the best part. Value if you can't sit around and wait for help.
I'll
Apparently
take
there's going
that.
to be some kind of investigation, but no. Romulan paranoia, no allow. Not allowed. There we go. No complications. I keep it. And we make a momentum.
Barter.
What?
Just barter.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
That doesn't sound good.
I have no idea what he could be oh boying at.
There's a lot.
I
Huh? I'm in danger.
Oh.
think we're in danger.
Oh.
There you go.
I have a question. I'll get back to you in a sec after I finish reading this.
So the camera swings over back to Ven. I believe, Ven, you are preparing the ship for its reserve status.
Yeah,
Is
I've
it-
got to prepare my department to do that. Presumably that's get a handle on what the various projects we've been working on are and handle the continuing performance of ongoing projects or shifting those projects to operations under reserve status. Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's control rather than presence because you're giving detailed orders to the various department heads. I will spend to up the complication a bit on the basis that your fears are kind of becoming realized a bit, in that you are the one of the most junior people in the department, and you're the department head for some reason. So you kind of have to wrangle people because right now you have orders and you're trying to, whether or not, as far as Starfleet is concerned, if you're at a post, that's your post. Like Starfleet protocol is, if I am designate the head of the department, I am now the head of the department, and I have
Right.
all the authorities and privileges. However, practically speaking, one doesn't put a lieutenant in command of a commander. That doesn't end well. Because that leads to very messy chain of command issues. Right now, the chain of command, thankfully, the science department's small enough that an ensign could lead the department because Driven did. The science department isn't all that huge on the ship. So, like, as opposed to the security department where it needs a lieutenant, the security department is both Thralic and Ryloff's baby. Like, they both have to manage it because it's so sprawling. There's so much of it. Whereas science department's like, and the medical department can, like, look, it's a single room and it's supported by other departments. Like, we don't have much of a medical department on the ship.
Right. But yeah, I mean, there's still stuff that I need to handle, and the situation as is has made it complicated. to say-
Yes, very much so.
So yeah, I've also brought in Vizan to give me a hand with this. Because okay, look, I'll admit it, Vizan, you're better organized than I am. You always had the better notes.
Well, that's not too complicated, then.
Okay. That was a mistake. Anyway, I'm spending a momentum for a third die. And this actually isn't worst. But comp. Oh, comp 3. Oh, that's gross.
Because Vizan is an advisor, you can reroll one die.
Ew.
She's mechanically helping as well.
Yeah.
I will take that.
And because she's to use that, she's gonna assist. Would you allow the focus in either Starfleet protocol or logistics?
Ooh, logistics would fire for sure. That's 100% what the problem is.
And she critted. Nice.
Nice. That was on a 4.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we got this.
Well, I'd hope so, considering it's an important thing we need to sort out.
Right, right. Um, I, yeah, I think I can take it from here. But look, thanks a lot for this. Um,
All right.
I'll make sure the captain hears what a help you were on this.
Just don't come complaining to me when you somehow screw it up then.
You notice that in the report, Ven, as Vizan's starting to walk away, the reason why Ensign Ramek isn't in this position, because he would have seniority. If Drebin wasn't here, then Ramek would, because they're the next senior over you.
Yeah.
They seem to have put in they when you're kind of checking where everybody is, like you're doing a roll call. For one, you're short a few people. So that's a problem. Especially for such a small department. It's complicated even further that your science department was augmented by the civilians, so that's kind of making life difficult. But in the specific, Ryamek reports that they are in their quarters and they are uncontrollably sobbing and they don't know why. So for now, they apologize for not being of help to you right now, and they'd like to be of help. They'll make sure to be ready where they need to go, but for now, they need
Can I
they
put
need you
in
to handle stuff.
Can I put in like effectively like a concern request with the counselor?
You certainly could.
Like, hey, someone in my department appears to be in some severe emotional distress. Could you do like a wellness check? And the other thing I'm just minorly curious about, because you mentioned the civilians. How's Yolan?
Yolan is not aboard. No civilians are aboard.
Oh, that's right. We dropped them all off.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. Never mind.
And we're past the point that we dropped them off at, aren't we?
Yep.
Which is odd.
Yep.
Huh. Ven stands up from his station and goes over to Commander Thralic. Thralic? Commander, I just noticed something.
Proceed, Ensign.
It could be something, could be nothing. But I just noticed while doing the rundown of my roster, and I bet it'll be similar for the other departments, we didn't pick up any of our civilian complement on our way back here to Narendra.
All right.
Again, it could be something, could be nothing, but it just stuck out to me is all, and I thought you should probably know.
Well, according to our best understanding, we got back 3 days ago, right?
Right, yeah, as I said, we might have not had an opportunity to swing by and get them, but
3 days away from Narendra. We should have. We should have. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, Ensign.
okay, I'm gonna get back to it.
Thralic.
Yeah.
You have you do your general memo. Is there anything in particular you're doing other than that while you're en route to the station?
I would like to determine how many crew we are missing across all departments, and as well, how many crew are experiencing mental issues, perhaps unexplained ones. basically get a feeling for just how badly shaken up they all are. See what I can do about that in the limited time I have, because that is kind of one of my XO duties, is for morale management and stuff.
Reason plus command assisted by ship's comms command.
Right.
One momentum is being spent.
Oh, oof, the ship is not doing great today, is it?
For me, the ship is not doing great today, especially. GM, can I make an argument here for insight? Determine the well-being and composite of my crew?
You could lean that way, yeah. You could be a little more fuzzy in your determinations.
Focus and guidance. Like, I try to know these people. I'm involved in their careers.
You tried to be their guidance counselor?
I mean, not guidance counselor, no. But I am their direct superior officer in a lot of cases, or kind of a hands-on XO in a lot of instances.
You get involved.
Yeah. I don't leave everything to my department heads necessarily all the time. GM?
Sorry, I was just responding to a somewhat important message.
Gotcha. No worries.
Say again, sorry.
Guidance as a focus.
Yes,
I'm involved
sorry.
in these people's lives. Cool. Calm in the storm trait.
I'll take it.
All right, if 1. I'll spend 1 momentum for an extra die.
Okay.
Rolling 3. There we go. I generate 3 momentum. I spend 2 to quash the ship's comp.
Commander, you are made aware that you are short about 15% of your complement. For one, it's spread out across various departments, and you're kind of getting these things back. You're also short your chief medical officer.
Okay. Can I compile a list of missing crew?
Mad.
You can.
All right. I would like to do that, and then cross-check and see if, as is the case with Drebin, these people do not show up properly in our computer logs.
I'm willing to give that to you for free. Yeah, they don't seem to come up properly.
All right.
So it's the same issue.
I'll make sure that data file gets backed up.
Yeah, because part of the insight on your end was one of those. You weren't just trusting the computer; it was you thinking about it, going, "Wait a minute,
Okay,
there's a name
missing.
missing.
Missing from there.
There's another missing name. There's another missing name." And then as you just sit in your chair for a second, start typing them out on the pad and refilling in the computer and going like, list these people as missing, or in your backup on your pad, going like, "Hey, here's the people that are missing." That's a lot of people, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 15%.
15% of your crew are just not here.
I mean, that's 1/3 of the Romulans on the ship too.
That's true. 15% of. I think our crew complement is something like 400 or something. So we're looking at a significant amount of people.
Is that excluding all of the civilians that we know we dropped off? Like, are
Correct.
these people that
That's excluding the civilians.
Yeah. So
I usually don't count civilians in your regular crew complement because they can augment the crew, but they're not the crew. They're augments. Like you might have a astro navigator aboard.
Yeah, they better not be augments. That's a whole different issue.
15% missing and unaccounted for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big difference.
And I'll quickly answer through to Ryloff. The answer to your question is something of vital importance was found and returned to the ship.
Legion of Honor. Watson, where is it?
New
Which
scene.
is 2 bonus momentum.
Because I'm about to point to you where it is.
Okay.
I think we all fucking know where it is.
Whoopsie.
Yeah.
Not this room. That's the room that doesn't make sense. There, this one. You get to the archives because you look weird and don't do my paints properly.
But I do use those momentum or no?
You do, yes.
Yep.
Oh, no. Wrong music. This one. Tabin. You found the room. It's a weird room. And inside the science lab's containment unit is a glowing purple sphere.
Can I walk up to one of the readouts and read the readout?
You certainly can, but you have an opposed roll coming your way as you approach.
No, bad GM.
Hey.
Put that thing back where it came from.
Or so help me.
He went into the room. He didn't have to go in there. He could have played dumb job.
All I was told that there was a unusual room with nobody in it. Right. There was no red tape in front of the Jeffries tube that says "Do not enter."
That's because it's yellow.
It says unauthorized personnel not allowed.
He could have been.
Yeah,
back
but
there.
if you try to travel through the Jeffries tube to get to, like, extra food storage compartment, it'll say "not allowed" for me. So that's not really helpful.
That means
Right?
you're not allowed in the Jeffries tubes in general.
Yeah, but that's a stupid rule. That's anti-child.
Yes. Yes, it is.
That's
What are you
kind
gonna
of the
do about
point.
Fitness
Yes.
command opposed.
There's a reason. It's meant to be anti-child.
Yeah, but when has a child ever thought that something being anti-child was right and true?
Yeah, they just look at that and go, I wonder who that's for.
Well, clearly not
That's
for
not
me.
gonna
I'm so
stop.
mature.
Even if it has their picture on it, they're like, oh, I wonder who that's for.
Am I being coerced or intimidated?
Yes.
Okay, that gives me one up.
Yes.
That is the easiest yes to that question I've ever had.
All right, 6 threat.
Spending it back.
Damn, even if I was like a normal character, I would have failed most of those. They're all 18s and 16s. Nope, you got me. I spent all the things getting here. I don't have any other things to spend while I'm here.
I think you only get 3 because he got a hit due to his being coerced.
Yeah.
Aha, you're right. Boop. Don't worry, Taven. I'll get back to you in a second. Don't worry about the readouts. They're boring anyway.
Can I get like glowing eyes and do some like horror movie stuff when Pin comes in now?
I mean,
child.
I
Like,
could
yeah,
not
like,
possibly answer that question.
I have to, you may not approach the Crystal Lord, kind of stuff.
Where we are going, we need eyes to see.
Oh no.
No, where we are going, one's eyes must be wide open. One must be unplated.
Yeah, while holding a while holding a knife.
What do you have there? A knife.
Pinned.
No.
No, I would say something like the blessing of our Lord.
You're walking to the crystal room.
I certainly am. I would like to enter the crystal room.
You enter in your code, and the door unlocks.
Oh, I don't know.
You see a glowing purple sphere inside the containment unit where the crystal was, and you see Daba Taban levitating off the ground, his hands outstretched either side of him, and he's glowing purple.
Oh God.
And
Go
he
on.
attacks you. We're in combat now. This is the worst idea this thing's ever had because it took control of a kid, but hey.
Throw a kid at oh well, rip.
Purple crystal for the purple crystal god.
No.
Barter's not here.
Like, if I had a normal character with 4 talents and like decent stats and a determination still, I'd still rate my chances like 10% to beat Pin.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a control plus security roll.
Do I get-
Difficulty of 2.
Did the purple god at least bestow me gifts? Give me gifts? Like the purple force push thing?
You get a full mint of dice.
The sword of the purple god?
You can make a What's it?
A purple in Taben's hands appears a Bajoran phaser rifle. He levels it up at you and says, "Die, Tellarite," the same way he would say "Die, Cardassian" in his game, and shoots at Pend.
Which is unfortunate. I haven't learned how to field strip it yet. So I hope it doesn't get clogged with phaser energy.
It's Div 2 right now, and Pend, you may or may not have to roll to die for cover because you're being shot at.
It was control security.
Yep. It bought all the dice it could for you.
Giant purple space hand.
Physiology to know where to hurt him the worst is a focus.
Complication increase. Well, didn't need the increase.
That's a hit.
It's a hit. Pend, you're about to be hit. And take some damage. Because a purple stream of light crackles away from the rifle and is lancing towards you. You could stand there and take the hit, or you could try to dive for cover, which would be a diff 5 task right now. No, because it's over the he hit his diff, so diff 2, he beat it by 1, so it's diff 3. 2 plus 3. Be diff 3, fitness security.
I'll die.
Actually, no. Be diff 2 because you have nearby cover.
Yeah, I'll just die for cover.
Okay. I get 1 threat for that.
Strategy and tactics.
Yeah. I'm going this way. No, I'm going this way.
I'll give you a threat.
So 2 momentum generated as you go prone and dive for cover, and the red alert siren does not go off.
Do you want to swift task and go again?
Yeah, sure. Swift task. Little Taban saw grenades, didn't he?
Yeah, what you were supposed to do is, while the Cardassian soldiers were enjoying like the New Moon Festival, you were supposed to sneak up on him and throw grenades in the middle of their celebrations.
Oh, before you do that, what happened to his 2 complications?
That's
Before,
about to kick in.
before we gloss over that one.
Oh,
Well, you could
don't
just take
worry.
threat, right?
There's no. It's the bad guy's complicated. Something's happened. And it's not going to help me at all. You'll see in a moment. It's because I swift task. It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to in a second. There's 2 things that'll happen. But yes. So Tabin, you have a full met. The difficulty to hit is like it's not 2, it's 3 because you're swift tasking. And it's control security because you're throwing. It's still a ranged attack.
Do I have any?
Oh, sorry. Let's get 4 because he's prone, which helps with not being hit by ranged attacks.
Does it? In the
I'll
same
say it.
category?
Yeah. Well, no. You're medium range to him, and he's behind cover. That's kind of where I'm coming at it from.
Oh, can I take a minor action?
Suppose you could, yeah.
So minor to move here.
Okay, diff 3 again. Never mind.
Oh, actually, can I try one of those? Neat. So you can create an advantage with determination, right?
You can, yeah. Why?
Would you, if I could muster up a determination, would you, the one with the parade certainly fits in this somehow, but I don't know how to. Do I have any directives now?
No. I'm willing to say, actually, because you do bring up an interesting point. What can happen right now instead of because what's happening visually, just to set up the scene a little bit. So floating Tabin with kind of Pen, as you dive for cover, you can hear footfalls rushing to your position. Someone's outside getting to you, but things are moving too fast. So you kind of before you have a chance to kind of get up and get your bearings, already the kid's floated up to your room, and he's manifested in between his hands a glowing purple grenade. The problem with this, one, it's a grenade, and if that goes off near you, you can't really dive for cover again. You already have, because you're already on the ground. So this will suck. The problem with this plan is it's an area effect, and he's in the same zone as you are. So if he hits and he gets any challenge dice, any effects, he's hitting himself too, because he's in the range of the blast. So with that in mind, that's assuming he gets the roll. If he rips the roll, it's going to go over this way, or like it's going to go harmlessly some other direction, or it's going to be a dud or something.
Sometimes we have to sacrifice ourselves to remove the Cardassians.
The creepy little child says. So Pen, what you can't do, and what Tabin can do as well on a player level.
Anyone else having Animorphs flashbacks?
No, I didn't read those books. I didn't get to read those. I have to read other books. But so thank you for that trauma. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't get to read those books, man. No. Pen, you can gift your determination to Tabin if Tabin wishes to attempt a value spend toward don't peek behind the curtain lest you find the paw wraiths, and little Tabin may have a chance to snap out of it. Because he has a strong paw.
Sure. I mean, if he fails and doesn't kill himself, I'm just going to knock him out, so either way works.
Now, does Tabin want out? Now, at this point, we're at the. This is a point where this is a choice that Tabin can actually make. Because before, the attacks were not of his choosing; they were simply being. They were just things he was doing. But there's this small part in the little child's mind that's aware that he's being forced to do something incredibly dangerous. Good to notice. It's up to you, Majestic. I saw the message. You can refuse.
You know, I mean, I love making new characters, so
Well, fuck you, I'll take my determination back.
Very well. So yeah, Tabin, on that basis, no, the first value doesn't apply because the value would apply toward not snapping Tabin out of it, not pushing the cold further. And then there's no directives. It hasn't had a hold long enough on you to instill those in you.
Can I argue for situationally reduced difficulty because I'm not trying to throw the grenade at Penn? Like I've accepted it's gonna hit me.
No,
So
because he's not restrained in any way. He can still get up and run. Like he could scramble away. He could kick it. You know, you have to kind of, even if you hold it to yourself, the target might move. So you kind of have to account for what you think the target's going to do. You also don't want to accidentally cover up the grenade and just blow yourself up and not hurt him. Because you might screw up setting the grenade and stuff like that.
Well, I simply do not have a character sheet that supports resources, so I just have to roll it.
Like I said, this thing picked the perfect person. Well, that hits.
It's 4 plus security, six dice.
Yep.
Look, the thing picked the perfect player. It just wasn't aware of the character, so
The GM knows I'll do destructive things for the sake of destruction.
Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage to both of you. I believe you're both looking at an injury.
I'll spend half and take 4.
Oh, you'll spend your half metal?
Yeah.
Okay. Tabin, you're looking at a non-lethal injury because the grenade's hitting you just as much as hitting him.
Sure, take 2 threat.
Spending 2 threat. All right. That was Tabin blowing up. Apparently, the explosion happens. Penn, you happen to just curl up in just the right way to kind of lessen the impact. The energy burns still hurt, but you're able to kind of push through it somehow. Tabin looks singed from the energy burn pretty bad because apparently he basically held onto it and then just moved towards you a bit. So his hand looks very badly burned, but he himself is still awake and staring at you. But, complication, 2 other characters show up on the scene. As part of the complication, Aza, you became acutely aware while you're doing your packing, where the hell did Tabin go? And you start asking around where he went. And then you start asking the computer, where did he go? And it says he's in a confidential science room beta. And then you have this really bad feeling and you rush over, and that's when you see the head of security, Lieutenant Ryloff, rushing toward the room.
Oh, I could kill that child.
Because-
Can
I
I
might do it for you.
spend
Hey, I wanted to play harp in the room, and you sent me away. This is your fault.
no. You wanted to play harp, and I said you could play harp in the lounge. Because my fault. Fuck, it's my fault. Okay. Can I spend determination for medkit, or do I get one for free?
Say again, sorry.
Can I
You spend
spend
momentum.
moment? Oh, I'm
Conveniently-
having a long week. Can I spend momentum for a medkit?
You
Conveniently-
could have a med kit. I'm not going to charge you
Sure.
for that. Your medical department.
Okay.
So you have one can presume you grabbed one instinctively off a random wall. That said, this is combat timing, so this could be Aza's turn.
There's also
Uh,
a free My First Med Kit on Tobin if you need it.
So it depends which of Aza, Ryloff, or Pen which of you three wish to go. Because Pen's vaguely aware there are two other people rushing to his position. And Aza and Ryloff, Aza, you don't necessarily know Pen's in there, but you do know that Tabin's in there at least, or you presume he is. And Ryloff's presence indicates a security threat. And Ryloff, same thing. If Aza's here, because your scan from earlier, hey, look, there's a secret room. Here it is. What's in there? A strange, unidentified object in a level 10 containment. There's also a firefight going down there, and for some reason, Red Alert isn't firing, and off Ryloff sprinted.
Yeah. Well, actually, there was the question of what is that, and I believe that was. I think I know what that is, right?
Okay. To not metagame, Asa is going to just like wave to Ryloff and then motion to allow him to enter first, just in case things are violent.
And Ryloff, I will tell you that the readings seem akin to what the U.S.S. Andromeda indicated as the reality gate. It seems to share the same energy signature. And now you know why the things were being so darn secretive on the ship.
I'm not even entirely sure what that is, but it sounds like a. Fun time. You will be purple too. Yeah, no.
In essence, the reality. Actually, I won't go into further unless you spend momentum because you wouldn't have had time. Normal time, but
Sure.
who's going first of the Starfleet side?
It looks like
I'll go,
Ryloff.
and it would have to have been a threat if it's still carrying on from that questions thing. So take the threat and just,
Yep.
tell me what that is, whatever. But yeah, we'll go in here, ready to go thing. Oh, it's a kid. Let's tackle it.
You underestimate the powers my lord has given me.
Sure.
Daring security opposed. Buying all the dice. It's an opposed roll. Good luck, little Taven.
Just be
Can
glad.
this be called rejecting being coerced? He's trying to coerce me to stop
I'm
by
trying to
physically
literally
restraining
strong
me.
arm you.
Yeah, literally strong arming me.
I will
you're
take it. You get a free hit.
Place.
Just be glad Ryloff is going to restrain you. If no one else had turned up, I would have knocked your character out.
Oh. Okay. Lovely.
Oh! In this kind of game, we're allowed to burn milestones for determination. Which is
If
not
it's what's holding you
really
back, yeah.
Klingon game. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. And hey, in the Klingon game, you can do that too. It's just not a good idea.
What was the episode The Chief Harm of Arrogance?
That was when you guys were en route to the gate system. Episode 2 is where Tabin's mom hit the dirt, as I recall.
But that's not the same episode.
Yeah, the first one.
I mean, the episode was called The Chief Harm of Arrogance.
Yeah, that's the first part. There's 2 parts to it. I forget what the
So-
first part was about. It would have been after you guys were on your way there.
Oh, if going back, The Chief Harm of Arrogance has to be the first time Tobin appeared.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It would have been. Yep.
Oh, that episode was when Thralic taught me the maneuvers of the hoplites, and we used them on Vin. Can I?
I did not teach you hoplite
Yeah,
maneuvers.
nowhere
not-
I
near.
taught you military history.
Well, okay, you taught me military.
Different.
When I say hoplite, I didn't mean y'all special soldiers. I meant the actual Greek hoplites. Because what we did was like a little shield wall, then rushed Vin. I didn't mean your hoplites. I meant actual hoplites.
You have no little friends here.
So can I try to use some military tactic that I remember from Thralic's speech?
I mean, you can get a determination point. The problem is spending it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you could get the point, but I don't know where you'd spend it. Like,
What does the crystal want me to do?
it doesn't want you to be restrained. It wants to be free. To do what it wants.
It wants to break free.
I want to break. No. I can hit those notes.
I guess if you won't accept either value, yeah, then I don't have anything.
Yeah. Believe me, I want to. For the NPC's sake. But the prophets saw this coming, apparently.
It's just, as a child, I can't do anything.
Yeah, I'm just gonna determination here for you come sit around and wait for help to get the focus of how the hell do you pronounce this? Cormoric, which is just Romulan martial arts. They're entirely wrong. There's no Vulcan influence here whatsoever. Go away.
Certainly.
There is no focus on nerve finches.
They're called neck restraints. Neck holds. Why are they all one-handed? Never mind.
It's swift and brutal, so I think the Vulcans were like, "Oh, we're not going to use that anymore," and the Romans are like, "Unga bunga."
If I try to fight back with like a hypo out of the medical kit, will you accept daring medicine instead of daring security?
I would.
Oh. Would you accept the trait disarming?
I would.
You were unarmed until a moment ago. Holy shit.
That literally the best roll I've ever had.
I think you probably like the response to that. Wow. Okay. So
you have 3 free hits?
I'll give you 1 and 5.
Okay.
Well, strong paw gives me 1, which is not enough.
Which is cancelled out by disarming.
Yeah.
So.
Right, by 2.
Wow.
What's the determination? Right.
Oh no, determination was for focus.
To get a thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Sorry.
So all you're doing is restraining him. You're not doing any stress damage.
The intent is not to do any stress damage. Yeah.
Come on.
I'm not trying to kill a child.
Rylef, you have grabbed hold of Taven. I need you to do a roll now.
Okay. Okay. It's like, oh, he's better. Let's go with him instead. That's what's about to happen.
Hey, how'd you know?
Yeah.
Fitness plus command. Oh, it's opposed. That's right. It's still an opposed roll. So I spent 4. Sorry, I need to grab my threat back because I'm buying dice, not increasing a diff. That's different. Buy 1 extra dice. Buy 2 extra dice.
Grabbing his wrist, hitting that pressure point, and just manipulating him.
Pend, you can see that Rylef's starting to glow as he's doing that, but Rylef's trying to kind of finish the move and pin him to the ground.
Paranoid trait. Question mark. However that applies.
It neither hurts nor helps.
Ooh, that's a first. Romulan, actually, given the whole mentally fuck you approach they have. I can't think of the word.
It's not something inherent to the species, though. I wouldn't take that. If it was a heat thing,
It's something inherent to the culture.
Yeah, but I would treat that as a talent. Some Romulans are good at it, some aren't. Like if you had like strong will or some talent that there's talents that perfectly reflect that.
Okay.
Resolute would be one, for example. I would take that. Normally is a human only, but I could see a Romulan taking it because it's like, well, they're resolute for a different reason.
Survivor?
Good stretch though. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Survivor, I would take. Yep.
Okay. Inscrutable.
That helps. That actually helps. That's helps you very specifically.
I was like wondering if it would more. I was like, I've got an argument for it if you didn't have one. It was just going to be like whatever entity it is can't really tell if it's making ground or not.
Yeah. That's where my head went to. It's like, well, is it working? I don't know if it's working.
It doesn't know how much harder to push or not.
Because it doesn't want to brain fry you. That kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah, but 2 hits is 2 hits. I like that. That's nice. That's neat. You bought something?
I bought enough dice for four dice.
Okay. I don't want to give you enough to buy extra, so I know how this goes.
Yep.
I'm going to spend 3 momentum.
Okay. Oh, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 hits for me.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because of the 2 freeze.
Yeah, so you append, you witness Rylof's arms. Rylof more feels it than sees it because you're too busy wrestling with him, and the child is trying to jab you with that hypospray, which it may be my first med kit, but my first med kit does have some mild sedatives in it that wouldn't knock you out necessarily, but could numb you in a way that would be very bad in a tactical situation.
It'd be detrimental.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fight a melee fight with aspirin.
Yes, it still counts as a weapon that can be disarmed, and therefore that was the attempt being made, along with restraining you.
Would it be comfortably numb? That was Rylof. Tabin's restrained. The hostile side has done all its actions. Pend or Aza.
Just lifting up the child because it's easier. They can't move.
Well, he's already kind of floating, so you're kind of...
Oh, great. Just holding him then.
If Aza doesn't want to do anything, I'll stand up and head over to the console.
Standing up is a minor. It'll cost you momentum or a threat to take an additional to move.
I'll just spend a momentum.
You move over to the... sorry. Which console are you moving toward? Sorry.
This one.
That one? Okay. So...
Given you so kindly pointed it out that one.
It's gonna try. You get within its glow. Fitness command opposed. I bought a die.
I have
Maybe
a
this
child
will
and I
work.
will throw it at you if you start floating.
Try and test it. This isn't the first time something's tried to possess me.
Yep. You're the worst person for this role. This is why it didn't work the first time.
Tiger of Narendra.
Yep.
Commanding presence.
No.
You think you command this? Fine.
The only other two that could play is Head of Clans Destroyer
No.
or
Good thought,
Eldritch
though.
Punter.
That helps.
Well,
That's worrying. Whenever that comes into play, it's worrying.
because it means that it comes into play.
I'll give you a threat.
Hooray! I can't buy another... Wait! Yes, I can. I'm gonna buy an additional die.
Congratulations.
Whee!
I'll also spend 2 momentum.
You stupid thing, you're wasting all my dice.
I feel like I should take offense at that.
Well, not you, it.
focus in either diplomacy or mental prowess.
Mental prowess.
So that's +2.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So
Four
I gain
hits.
3.
So yeah, you started glowing purple for a second, and then you just kind of, and you get the feeling this has happened to you before. Like you're familiar with this sensation on a almost ocean of consciousness level.
Does this ring a bell to the message I left for myself?
It's related. You get the feeling like you'd have to study more or scientific method or something in that effect, but back in the napkin math, they're connected. That said, you're at the console. What do you do?
You assume I thought that far ahead.
I like to have faith in my players. I like to believe in them.
You really shouldn't.
Dava thinks you should embrace the crystal.
I'll try to communicate with it.
players.
Presence plus. This is hard.
Command?
No. Presence plus science or engineering, difficulty 5.
Awesome.
Because you're trying to guess at how it's actually the ship does help you with this. Comms plus science or engineering. As you're trying to understand, it is you get the feeling it communicates somehow, but it doesn't do it through methods that you're familiar with. And it isn't psychically when it does psychically reach out to you, it's the minute you open it's almost like opening your house door a little bit, and then immediately the person's throwing knives at you. It's like it's hard to have a conversation when they're immediately hostile. So you're trying to find other ways to talk through the door at them and try to puzzle out what the hell they're on about. So it's very difficult. This is the sort of thing a communication officer would shine for, but you're here. So.
Does charming demeanor come into play?
Hilariously, yes.
God.
He wants to brag to you because, you'll appreciate it.
Can I seduce the reality gate? Says Pend.
Do not seduce the dragon. This never ends well for anyone.
Would you take the trait of tried and tested? It's not my first crystalline entity.
Never forget your first.
Or eldritch being.
Author, it ends well for the dragon.
Tried and tested it won't take because there's only one other instance of this in the universe, and Penn never met that gate or its foibles. He's just aware of it by reputation. An Eldritch Punter doesn't apply because you're trying to understand it, not fight it.
The only other one really would be commanding presence.
That helps.
Yay, I get a hit. I'm going to roll 3 challenge dice.
Okay.
You get all 3.
Woo.
And I'll spend 3 momentum. Focus and diplomacy.
Yep. Sorry, I had to think about it.
Okay, that's 5 with the hit. And I'll spend a minute to squash.
Plus the ship.
Ah, yes, the ship.
No comp increase because you're not using the tachyon collider anymore.
Don't know why. It's just gone.
So it does seem that it does communicate. Like you talk at it, and you're trying to provoke it to respond or just give you anything coherent, other than the mad ravings of David Tabin behind you, which you get. That's meant as a scare tactic. It's meant to terrorize and confuse people. Which I mean, most people that really works, but Starfleet officers made of different stuff. Starfleet officers on the bloody Achilles made of different stuff. But you're able to puzzle and recall and remember as you're reading it now, as if for the first time, yet remembering it at the same time, that this being wants to fundamentally shape reality in a new way. It wants to change things, and it wants to exude that influence across the galaxy. It wants out. It wants you to let it out and let it achieve its goal.
Do I know whether it's malevolent or benevolent?
For momentum, I can answer that.
Sure.
Not to evade the question, but yes, but it depends on your point of view. You get the sense that it isn't trying for world domination, as it were, or galactic domination. That's not its goal. It wants to change the galaxy. It wants to change reality in a fundamental way. More at a preference than anything. Like it wants one reality, not the other. But the problem with that is when you change reality to that drastic and wide-spanning a degree, there's always a price to be paid when you do that. And if you happen to be like, it doesn't personally hate you or the ship, it just wants to achieve its goal, and it will do whatever it has to achieve that goal. If everyone just lays back and stops resisting, then sure, it'll just kind of do its thing, and some people will be hurt, some won't be. But whoever does resist is going to get, well, the purple screen of death. If you won't bend, if you won't get out of the way, I'll make you help me. So benevolent and malevolent in the same breath. It isn't. If you're not getting in its way, it'll leave you alone. But you get the feeling if you do that, maybe you won't be hurt, but somebody else is going to be hurt. A lot of somebody else's.
Does it look like it's already been doing that aboard the ship?
For momentum, I can answer that. No. Or rather, if it did, you likely contained it. Like it's in a containment room. It wouldn't want to be in this room. It can't really move. So it didn't choose to be here. So you made it, or someone on the crew made it go in here. And there have been no reports of any other instances like that. Like you're the first person to run into a possessed person report because you're the one that saw it.
You're not.
Yeah.
Sure, we've removed that memory. You think happened to Reaper?
But no one else is presently under its influence, as far as you can guess. Otherwise, your combat would be beeping at you like crazy, and Ryloff's too. You'd be having reports all across the ship because it's kind of fire startery in its tactics. Like they try to overwhelm with terrorizing forces, and then ships crumble, which most ships do. Most ships would, because that's very hard to deal with because it's not something you can just phaser away. And you can't offer it to join the Federation because it wants to interfere. It wants to force change, whether a species wants it or not. Is there anything else we should do with your turn, Captain Penn?
No, but I'll just tell Rylov to remove the child.
The turn goes to Aza.
Okay, I want to rush into the room, and
You're-
as you,
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as soon as I see the state of Tapen, I would like to run over to him and begin.
Before you do that, I'm going to
Okay.
point something out to your character that you'll notice
ahead.
the minute you run into the room. Beyond the glowing
Typical.
child, that orb over there is an orb of the Paw Wraiths.
Ah, fuck.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. I know. Okay. It's been a while since I've seen Deep Space Nine. I know what an orb of the prophet is. What is
Right.
an orb of the Paw Wraiths again?
Basically, if the orbs of the prophets are ways for the prophets to communicate and influence this reality toward a more beneficial end to them, or at least guide them.
Mhm.
And frankly, they don't. I mean, spiritually, they give you what you need and nothing more. You know, they're very non-interference, very light touches. They don't like pushing people. But if you come to them, they'll totally guide you. And if you don't figure it out, that's your problem. Paw Wraiths are very vocal, very interfering, and you better do what they say because they know better and shut up. That's why. It's very, and it will tempt you. So
It's very like packed with Satan and stuff, right?
yeah,
Okay.
you're the antagonist to the prophets, basically.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Mhm.
Okay.
which orb of the Paw Wraiths this is? You're not learned on the orbs of the Paw Wraiths. The only people who would be the Kai, because only the Kai would be allowed to look at those books. So you've heard
There
of orbs of the Paw Wraiths as a scary story, but you've never
Mhm.
heard of someone running into one.
Right. No, this is like the Necronomicon. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'm gonna,
that's just a story. Oh wait, it's freaking real and floating in my in the science bay. Cool.
Also, if there's a Paw Wraith, whichever one of you is in contract negotiations is in a dark spot at the moment.
okay. I'm going to look
Uh-huh.
at the Paw Wraith and and looks at Dabin, and I would like to begin, and I know I'm a one trick pony, but is there a prayer or a thing I could do from the stories to like essentially do an exorcism on Tabin? Because I think I can realize that he's being possessed right now, and we need to remove that foreign influence from his body.
I am willing to
Mhm.
let you. I was gonna say something rude, but it wouldn't have come off funny. It just would have been rude. It's. I never took that pistol from you. Anyway, you could
What?
spend toward the value. In Aza stats is the Alcaran Chronoton pistol, which I don't. I think you gave that one up.
Never mind.
I
I
gave
thought
that
it was
up.
something else.
We weren't
Yeah.
allowed to keep that one.
I was like, did I let you keep that? How did I forget about that?
I also still have that in my lineup,
Okay.
just in case I find one.
Yeah, if you find one again, it might be funny. It's a good little thing. It just threw me off for a second. So you could spend a determination to temporarily gain a esoteric talent that will allow you to pray a prayer hidden deep in your paw to purge Tabin's purge the Paw Wraith from Tabin.
Pray the wraith away. Okay, that works for me.
To what value?
Okay, deeply spiritual.
No kidding. It's what the minute I read it, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna have an argument, am I? No, okay, this is happening.
One trick pony, but I'm good with this. I'm good with this one trick.
You're good with
That
this pony.
will be
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Presence
good little pony.
plus command opposed by
Mm-hmm.
Tabin.
Beat the child.
Tabin, you have 3 dice.
So
Three dice.
May
I'm
the power
literally
of
like
wind compel you.
intimidating the demon to leave his body. Okay.
The power of the prophet compels
I
you.
saw this in a movie once.
God damn it.
Compel you. May the
I've
power
seen
of
this in
wind
many
compel you.
movies. But yeah, I've gotta channel my best Ed and Lorraine Warren. Okay, I assume a focus in conversation or meditation won't cut it here.
No, without a complication increase, because you're kind of doing it in the heat of the moment.
Now can I use the value don't peek behind the curtain unless you find the power wraiths? Cause
You found them already.
yeah, but
So
now
we
I
have to
want
put Power Race behind.
Azza to find them.
We're just, 1 second.
Did I back out of the game? I think I did. That's how powerful that prayer was.
I'm gonna permaban you from the server. All right, you can make your dice school first if that's what you're.
You can. Actually, the problem is, I do. How much did I spend? I spent 3, didn't I? I can claw those back. The problem is, you could use that because that could be sort of you're keeping Asa out sort of thing, and that might force Asa to overextend. The problem with that is because it's an enemy using determination, I'd have to spend 3 threat to activate.
Oh, because this doesn't actually count as Tava doing it.
Yeah. It's using you as its.
Sure. Well then,
You are its meat puppet.
using that value, I'm gonna since apparently Starfleet people don't like me anymore, I'm gonna burn basically a member of Starfleet Medical.
Oh well, that's a way to do it. Yeah.
Oh, well, you were gonna give me a determination somehow?
Yeah, I spend 3 threat to activate your determination.
Well then do that. That way I still have values in
Mhm.
case they save me.
Why would we do that?
So what are you trying to do, Tabin?
Like the Prime Directive? I don't know.
You're just buying 2 hits, or
I'll give it my best go. If I'll burn the value if you give me the dice. This will be my.
I can do that. Yeah, I mean, if Tabin's willing to erode his own spirit, then the Power 8s are more than welcome to take a sacrifice. Don't worry, he'll get to kill all the Cardassians he wants.
Oh, you don't have enough threat. You would
Yeah.
need 2 more. So no, I'm not gonna burn the value. You just give me the determination.
Okay.
I mean, I'm probably going to give him threat. So.
How much? Threat? This matters to us.
How dare you?
Okay. Can I lost my determination. Can I challenge the value experience outweighs education on the grounds that previously I was sort of relying on my decades of experience doing things to like inform my current decisions, but this is way out of my depth. This is like literally ancient evil horror stuff.
I'd let you strike it. Yeah.
All right. Now, can I spend that determination on deeply spiritual that like my beliefs are so, I have the true faith so strongly that like it will, the demon will cower at the sight of the cross.
So to speak, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, so to speak. Okay. In that case,
By the way, before anyone asks, your strong paws cancel each other out.
But
okay.
she has trauma trial 2. I don't, right? Dealing with me, she gets an increase in 2 in difficulty.
I forgot. Oh my god. Okay,
no.
so how are we gonna handle that? That just he gets 2 free hits?
That means he gets 2 free hits and your complication increases by 2. So you're at comp 3.
all you have to do is bring my mother in it to make it worse.
Yes, your mother would be
Which
so disappointed.
sounds
Your
like
mother's
something.
so disappointed in you. Yes.
Invoke mother.
Yeah.
Invoke mother. But I have to fuse the tension. Does that apply here if I'm convincing the demon to leave and not do evil things on this mortal plane?
Hilariously, yes, because that's how it would apply. You're convincing it not to do harm.
Okay. In that case, then, oh God, how much would it cost to buy a 4th dice now? 3 threat?
3 threat or 1 momentum, 2 threat.
You know what? You could just take the 3 threat. All right.
Buying another
Well,
die.
I'm ready to roll when Taven is ready.
Oh, wait, no,
Well,
not buying
I
another
need to
die.
know how
Buying
much
2.
threat
you
is
get.
totally on the table.
Sorry, I've just now bought. I've now actually bought Taven 2 dice, 2 extra dice. So you got 4.
Is there?
Wouldn't it cost more because determination spend?
That's what I'm.
Shoot, you're right.
You should crawl back all of the threat you spent. So.
No, I have been keeping track. I just realized you're right that all I can do is buy you 1 extra dice.
Yeah.
Well, no, you got. How much threat total did you get from
Well,
Aza?
before you go down that line of thought, if generally if I'm able to claw back that threat before the player does something, then I consider it not spent. But if the player has reacted to my spend, I generally don't claw it back because it's in response to my spend. If I claw it back, then they claw back their action. So if I start unwinding the threat spends, then Aza would have to start unwinding what she decided to do.
Oh,
And we kind of get into this weird rewind war.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at the moment. Right now, you have a determination spend, and you bought a single die, or I bought you a single die.
Okay, you didn't have enough to do both dice.
Yeah, because the determination buy means I can't buy 2 dice. I wouldn't be able to anyway because I only had the 3. The math didn't work out.
Well,
Anyway.
what
That's
I was going to say was, so not clawing back anything, but the 3 threat you spent to give me determination, you just spend that on a 4th die, and I'll get the determination.
No, because that would then be clawing back everything he's just said.
Determination.
Yeah.
No, but he didn't spend that 3 for the 3rd dice until that was a response to Aza, not a thing he did before Aza.
Well, you spent we spent the 3 to get you that determination spend, and then Aza started trying to scramble to find some ways to get ahead.
Oh, okay, I see.
Basically, this is where we are. Deal with it.
Yeah. No,
well,
it's good to figure it out.
I didn't understand why we were here.
Yeah.
Wait, who's on first?
Long shot intuition to know where to poke Aza.
I'll use that avenue. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a rough roll.
Where's the what? I don't even know what I'm rolling.
Presence command. Your best
Not
stats.
it's not the worst.
All right,
But
let
it
me know
is.
when you're ready.
I've already rolled.
Okay.
Very good.
So that is 5 plus 2. Yeah, that's 5 plus the comp.
I have 2 plus 2.
You have 2 plus the
six.
2 plus the 2 you got from your determination spend plus the 2 because of the trauma.
So the trauma 2, the 2 I rolled, and the determination 2 is 6.
It's 6 total. And Aza has a comp. So, Aza, do you have any way to reroll any of that? Because you're looking at a failed roll currently.
Didn't you have a talent that gave you an extra hit? The one with arguing with the diffuse attention?
Oh, diffuse attention.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
that
so
So right
makes
now
us
you're
even.
tied with comp.
I forgot. That's 6. I thought only the first officer could. Oh, do you mean?
No, it's
correct.
captain. It is the captain.
First officer's
Captain
one that lets
gives.
you regenerate.
First officer
You're a
restores.
veteran.
Oh, I
Right.
am a veteran. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I am so off my game. I apologize.
Barter. harder.
No, she has to remember herself. Reminding her just defeats the magic, really.
Well, the diffused attention actually gets you an additional die.
Oh, it doesn't lower the.
Okay. So I
So
was right. So that was one of the dice I got because I only bought one die.
Oh, okay.
well, the
You
unfortunate
basically
bit
gave the
is the way I would rewind that would mean that I rolled one die too many, which eliminates the last die on that's on there, which would be the 0. So we're back where we started.
So we're at
That's
6.
fine.
We're at 6 to 5.
Damn it.
All right.
But Pen is trying to help you out, so maybe that.
Pen can give determination because you're in the room. You can see her. You can go. You get determination because it's not an action. You can just do it because you're so inspiring as a captain.
Ralph just shakes him. Clearly, that defeats his arguments. Just he starts to say something, I shake him. Like, no. I know I can't. But it's a funny thought.
So Pen gives me my determination. I spend it on deeply spiritual to reroll 1. The one that I can reroll the comp. Is that what I'm doing?
You could do that because right now you're losing 6 to 5. If you get at least a 1, you tie. If you get just a regular 0, you're not having a comp.
If you roll a comp again, you're right back where you started.
All right.
But you can roll your veteran now again.
You can.
You spend another determination.
Oh my gore.
No, we
There you go.
Again.
Okay. Can I do that again?
You can.
Yeah.
This
is a determination train.
Oh my gore.
Now you're tied with no comp. And you have your determination still.
Praise be.
But you don't have a failure to re-roll, so now you're re-rolling and it could be worse.
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing this until I don't get this.
Could you spend the determination into retroactively add an advantage to this roll?
This is ridiculous.
Let me think.
So what? Like right now we're tied.
You're tied.
Yeah, there is the succeed at complication option, I believe, right?
There is a succeed at complication, and I'll present you the succeed at complication. You can determine if you want to take that deal or not.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure because I can imagine all sorts of lingering effects from this. That sounds interesting. Let's go for that.
All right, one moment. Because obviously the other side wants to take that deal, but I favor the player if they're gonna if the player wants to take it on the chin, I'll let them take it on the chin.
That's the last 45 minutes has been me taking it on the chin.
Yeah.
On the wrist, on the chin, you know. We have a whole new set of court-martial charges.
That might break the TOS.
Original series?
No.
Get out.
That would be the
You're
OS,
in no
not
position to
TOS.
tell anyone to get out, Arthur.
If anyone else has to leave, then the author has to be in like a different county, different country, honestly.
Oh dear.
I opened the wrong thing. There's a specific thing I want to do, and
That's
I
how
just
I
opened
feel
the wrong
about
book.
coming into this room.
I mean, some of us are in a different country from the author. I'm not one of those people, but you know.
No, this really I mean, this really is opening the book that cannot be closed again. We've, once we've discovered the One Ring, we can never go back to how things were before. It either has to be destroyed or it'll end up in Sauron's hands.
Yeah.
What do you think you guys were trying to do the first time around? Unfortunately, you're too clever for your own.
I don't know. I forgot.
Unfortunately, you had a kid that was way more curious than you ever thought he'd ever be. Also, he got by your security somehow.
Don't worry.
I will say though, the One Ring comparison fails because the One Ring was buried in a cave in the bottom of a mountain where no one could ever reasonably find it.
And this was in the back of our car.
This was apparently just sitting in the middle of our starship, and I didn't know about it.
And thank you very much. Gollum found it.
Yeah, well, Gollum was also in the cave.
I mean, Gollum took it to the cave.
Yeah. I think you're saying
Sneagle was the one that found it at first. Sorry. Anyway,
I didn't find it in the cave though.
Let's
You
argue
all
Lord of
know
the
what
Rings
a
more. Let's go.
metaphor or illusion is.
No.
I'm
I'm
from
only
New
10.
Zealand. None
I
of you are
haven't
gonna win
gotten
this
that far.
fucking fight, so this is not.
So let's have the deal would be that each of you would be taking your presence and challenge dice with the intense effect.
Sure.
Does that me too?
Yeah, because it's happening to both of you. It doesn't mind letting you fry.
My lord has betrayed me.
Yeah.
All for the good of the galaxy.
Wait, we're taking our attribute of presence?
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
doing your presence in challenge dice to Aza. Aza doing her presence to
Oh.
you.
Shit, she's probably got a 12 in presence.
I have a 10 in presence.
Oh,
Ouch.
That's a lot
I have a
of
9.
dice.
So that's plus 2, you said?
Yep. No, just flat. Sorry.
I think I did better.
So
No, it's intense.
It's
So-
intense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
did
6, 7, 8.
I counted entirely wrong, I think. No, I was right.
1,
that's
2, 3,
13?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
No,
Intense?
it's not vicious. It's
It's not-
intense.
Intense.
It means it's
Oh
more
my
expensive to get rid of.
So for each effect, it increases the avoid injury by 1.
Okay.
So for
Yeah,
you,
intense is
for
pretty
Tabin,
cool.
there's nothing I can do. Tabin's gonna get fried. I don't have enough threat to bring
But
him out of that.
I could ignore the injury, right?
Didn't you already do that once this scene?
But not with determination.
How? You're about to take
Yeah,
8.
I'll be 5-minute death, but still conscious, right?
No, well, no, because you would have 7 plus the 8, so you're zeroed out, and you've taken at least 5. So you have 2 injuries. You're going into 5-minute death town. If you avoid 1 injury, you're just non-lethally injured, and you go unconscious anyway.
Oh, I don't want to do that. That's not dramatic.
So, thud, for sure.
Okay, so
I mean, not
I take
necessarily
8
thud, you need
damage, or I
health,
take.
Thank you.
Oh, I take 10 damage.
Right. You either
Okay,
take 10
so-
damage.
Oh,
Does that zero
crap.
you out?
That fills my stress tracker.
That would put you. That would put you into 5-minute death territory.
You know what? I
And
consider
even.
that.
Oh, go ahead.
To avoid, it's 4.
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, 2 that rolled. 2, 3, 4. You're right. It'd be 4 threat or 4 resources to turn it into a non-lethal. It just knocks you out.
Oh, I've never thought about this before, but I don't think they're mutually exclusive. You could avoid and then spend the determination. You still suffer the non-lethal, but you don't go down. Right?
Yeah.
So with the lethal injury, you avoid it. So all you have
Right.
is the non-lethal.
Right.
And then you use the determination to stay up from the non-lethal. I don't think we
You could do
normally-
that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very rare scenario that I don't know that I've ever seen happen. But you could. Although, if a feather falls on you, you're just dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem is that we know that paths don't open the taping, so we can't dig you out. I don't have the threat to dig you out.
No, I was talking about
Aza.
Aza.
No.
Now that
I
precludes Aza having a determination point left to stay up.
She does.
Oh, I do. Oh.
Yeah, because you
Oh.
got your
Oh,
veteran.
okay.
So
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just need
She
a
got her
Okay,
veteran.
so
veteran, bro.
I was fully going into dramatic. I'm going to like keel over and probably die here. But okay.
No, bro,
Ooh.
tank it out and save his life.
So you'd have to give 4 resources to cancel one of them, and then determination spend. You don't need to identify because you can always determination your way onto your feet. But
Okay. So if I
Yeah.
didn't do that, that would mean I die at the end of the scene.
you need to avoid at least one of the injuries, either through determination. No, it would have to be through spend. Otherwise, you would just be waiting on death's door, I suppose.
And with 5 minutes, it's not even the end of the scene. It's like GM's discretion, number of tasks.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, I almost want to take that option because it sounds very dramatic. But on the other hand, I like Aza enough to have that not happen to her. So
So
sure,
you
I will.
needed to save the kid.
I mean,
But
that's a
This is
bonus.
also true. This
You-
is also true.
given to the Winchester School, just burn everything, and if you can't survive it, don't. Right?
Well, I already can't survive it, or I already can. Yes. Okay. I will spend my threat, or I will give you threat to avoid the injury, and then I will spend my determination to stay up.
Do you wish to spend momentum and threats? That'd be a difference between me getting 3 threat and 4 threat.
You can just take 4 threat.
Cool.
I'm sorry to hijack the end of the session like this.
No. So, Tabin, Aza the two of them stare at each other, and Penn and Ryloff witness a bolt of blue energy lance from Aza's heart toward Tabin, and from Tabin, a lance of purplish, pinkish energy lashes out back at her. The two clash in the middle of the room with a blinding flash, and then they suddenly, instead of once they both kind of struggle back and forth, a beam struggle, if you will. Hey, DBZ fans, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, they struggle back and forth, and then instead of one side winning out, they both just kind of let go at the same time, and all of a sudden it's almost like a rubber band stretched too far, and it snaps back into each of them. Aza stumbles back for a second and starts bleeding from her nose and just coughing, and Tava just passes right out and stops going purple, but Ryloff, he feels cold in your grasp.
Now I'm going purple in the other way.
Now he's going blue.
die.
We get
I
about
see what
one
y'all mean
Uh,
about the different country.
Now, my question is, because this matters for combat timing, is anyone going to continue interacting with the crystal, with the orb or not?
Yes, but in a very specific way.
Okay, so if you're not backing off, combat continues. You guys, your side acted last round, so it gets to act first this round.
Does it?
Yep, that's normal turn order. If
No,
one
that-
side's
that-
outnumbered by
Didn't
the
it
other,
act first because
that's-
it took control of Tabin?
No.
yes, but the next order, the next turn is determined by which side acted last.
All right.
By that I mean, does it as in no hesitation? I may add 1 threat and take the first turn, regardless of who might have acted otherwise.
But
That
you
is
don't
what no
need to.
hesitation's for. That's what no hesitation's exactly for.
Enough.
Yeah, you can spend 1 threat, and you can jump its gun, as it were. Your friendly side has the first turn, as Ryloff, with no hesitation, suggests.
Okay, kid's limp, Aza's bleeding. That's just going that way, passing the kid off and getting her out of the room.
Yeah, basically everyone get the fuck out. Get out of my room. I'm cleaning.
I mean, that's passing the kid to her and pushing her out the room.
Give me fitness con difficulty of 1. It's like a sprint roll, but you're moving someone else with you. So.
Yeah.
And you're trying to go to the next range band, which is medium, and so it won't cost you any momentum. This is purely a momentum. This is one of the rare times where you're running to gain momentum, and it's helping at the same time.
Yeah. In this case, I guess I am paranoid, so I have that trait. So for good or ill.
Comp increase.
Yeah. I also have the survivor one though.
That would apply.
Lovely. If that applies, then survival.
Yep.
Lovely. And I'll use a
I know the
momentum
ways
just
of
to
throwing.
be safe here. Yep. And then we get the momentum back anyway. Out of the room. Oh, I was pushing them out. He's definitely staying.
Oh.
Like a hand her the kid, push her out the door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were like, no.
Leave Tabin behind.
Yeah, no, that's
No.
Enter the kid and push them both out the door so that they're both out of.
Your suggestion sounds way better than mine.
You might be forcing Asa into deeper trauma with children.
Perhaps. He is not aware
Does
she has
Ryla
trauma
know
with
that?
children. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
we saved the granny, but the child is dead.
Okay.
Do you wish to swift task or keep the initiative?
Do we have to?
Because it's about to act if you guys don't.
No, yeah, I was just more letting it not hurt the doctor person or hurt the kid was the priority there. So I'm fine with where I'm at.
Does your side wish to keep the initiative, or does it go to it? Because I know you're not swift tasking.
I mean, I have quick to action, not that it matters right now. So
Yeah,
it's the second
round. Yeah.
I can't do shit.
Basically, I think I might want to swift.
It would be keep the initiative, not swift.
Or keep the initiative.
Okay.
So
1 and 1 or 2?
I'll give you 1 and 1.
Okay.
So you stated that is a level 10 security field around the orb.
Oh yeah. That's why I can't move. That's basically the same strength as your regular shields.
Then I'm going to erect additional layers of shielding, including psionic shielding.
You already have. You get the feeling this thing should have more range than it does, but it's dampened severely. That's why it can only really affect people in its range category. So basically, people in its area or people it's possessed area.
You might just want to retreat then. I know that's very anti-pen, but
No, it's just the initial plan was just like put the myth shielding around it to also like restrain it. But yeah, if that's the case. I will.
The only other way you can increase another layer, I won't make you roll for this because it's something that any Starfleet officer would just know off the top of their head. You initially left this room to have an atmosphere because that's standard issue. That's just a safety precaution. You don't like, it's not safe to have a vacuum in your ship, even one that unless it's for a very controlled reason. But in an emergency, if you want to make a room completely inaccessible, you vacuum it. And then whether or not a kid picks at it or whatever, the doors will not open unless you manually start wrenching at them. But that said, say a kid or someone else wrenches it open, they're exposing their chamber to a vacuum. It's an environmental hazard. But it does make getting into this area basically impossible, because even if it does possess somebody, they're instantly knocked out because they're exposed to a vacuum. Unfortunately, they will then promptly die within a minute because they're exposed to a vacuum.
So, would it be possible for me to set up within 30 seconds time for the room to vacuum and then this entire block to also force field off?
Walk me through that. I don't follow, sorry.
Right, so obviously this area to get vented.
Right.
But then I'm trying to hit Q. What was it, Q? It was space.
I'll do Q.
Yeah, I'm holding down.
Q, yeah.
I'm holding down control as well to speak. But yeah, basically that amount, this entire block, to be an extra level of force fields to also seal off the room completely.
Okay. You could do that. Basically make your force fields so that room is a vacuum and you can't access any manual controls. You could do that. You could do that. That would be a task roll. You can do it where you're standing, but you could also do the same thing from over there. You don't have to do it from this panel. I will point out.
I think idea.
But that would be a control plus security difficulty of think it's just 2 because you're just setting up force field. Honestly, you're doing a passive defense, not an active defense.
Oh, force fields.
But you are doing the vacuum thing as well. So, no. Control plus security, difficulty 3. Assisted by ship structure security.
So with how my notes are for milestones, would you allow me to burn a milestone, one that I have for ESP shit? Because I've got 2 for fighting, 23 for diplomacy, 3 for survival, and 1 for ESP shit.
This would be fighting because you're actually evading the ESP part of it.
Okay, I'll spend 1 for fighting.
And are you doing it at this panel or a different panel?
I'll do it right here so it knows I'm fucking doing it.
Okay.
Sending a damn message to it.
It fucked around and now it's gonna find out.
You can if you want. I don't think I could get away with a directive spend apart from Prime Directive. This is a pretty big threat for something that wants to rewrite reality.
Unfortunately, actually no. You will have a hidden directive activate because you would have had a directive of keep this thing fucking contained. Okay, look, you're in a bit of a hurry, all right? You're trying to save the ship from a reality-bending thing, so, you weren't exactly wordy with your directives at the moment.
Wait, there's a directive for don't let the orb of the power race loose?
Yeah, because that's the whole point of the memory wiping. That's the whole point of wiping the things. It was specifically to isolate this thing as much as possible so it couldn't affect anybody. Because the only people who should be able to get in here is you, and you knew you'd be able to resist it. You didn't know Tavian was going to stumble in here, but,
Fucking children.
I mean, if Azza hadn't let me play Call of Duty all day, lurking around
video games caused this.
the caves of
Video games
Bajor.
cause violence. That's it.
The fire caves.
Like,
Yeah,
you
literally-
realise that child is going to be
George-
grounded in his room for the entirety of any journey now.
The child has had a severe religious consequence because of too much video games.
Oh, look at
Panic.
It's the worst nightmare of every mother in the 70s.
Worst satanic panic ever.
God.
Would you accept the focus of lead by example? I'm doing it myself.
Yeah, I'll take that here, totally.
I'll give you 2 threat.
Certainly.
Do you want to spend to increase any difficulty?
Nah, I have plans.
Oh no.
I'll go through some traits because it seems like I definitely want to lock this thing down. Master strategist,
Yeah.
tried and tested.
Yeah, you've had to deal with this kind of thing before. Not this, but like containing something.
Hoplite.
Yep.
Then it's
You're at 0
currently
now.
yeah. So I've got a reroll and it's at 0.
Yeah.
So that's 4, 5, 6.
Very good.
I'm gonna spend 2 to Swift,
Okay.
and I'm gonna move and drag Rylov's ass out of this fucking room.
Fitness plus con, diff 1, because you're pushing up another person with you to move another zone. You will need at least 1 momentum at the end of the rainbow to get him out, because you had to move at least 1 zone to get to him.
Okay.
Because you're trying to go to long range, so
Also,
medium long.
I'm pretty sure if you give the GM even 1 more threat, I'm dead.
Yes.
What are you
Probably
talking
don't do
about?
that.
I only need 8 to end the scene.
Why do you
There's
only
only-
need 8?
There's only 4 people here.
Oh, it's normally 5. That's why I've gotten in my head that it's 10. 10 is normally the number, but you're right, it's not. It's 2 per person.
Yeah.
Lead by example. I'm leading him out the room.
Yeah. Oh, diff 2, because you're freaking. What am I talking about? You're swifting.
I'll spend a moment.
To push people out. All right. Now to help the captain. Okay, we're being pushed out now.
Basically, yeah.
And I'll spend one to also drag him out.
It would try to do a hostile action on its turn. It can't. It's not in range. It does something. I'm not gonna bother rolling because it can't succeed. Aza,
Yes. Bye.
you have one chance.
Okay.
That
I'm gonna
child
make
is
this-
cold. He's dying, and he's at the 5-minute mark. And I have enough threat to make sure he stays there. But you
Mhm.
get one shot at the can.
Okay. Palms are sweaty. Let's do this.
So you do have a med kit, thank God. Control plus medicine difficulty. Normally would be 3, goes up to 4 because you're kind of doing this in a hallway.
Because you are the acting CMO, do you get a med team advantage possibly?
You could actually, yeah, because you are
Works for me.
in essence an acting one. So you could call out for a nearby first aid person to first aid the medical to rush to your location.
I think it's more accurate that she screams help and then maybe someone
Yeah.
shows up to help.
I'm like, oh, what do you need? A bunch of people start rushing over. Some people were probably rushing over because they saw you running. Like, oh, something medical must be happening. She grabbed the med kit. Let's follow her. Help!
Mhm.
Oh, let's help with whatever this is going. Oh God, what's going on? You know what? Never mind. Let's save the kid. We'll
Kid's
ask
dead
questions
again.
later.
Come on.
The kid died again. So that brings it down to diff 3 because of the detail.
We got this. Wait.
Yeah, now it goes back up.
Yeah, +2 for my trauma with children.
There you
Diff
go.
5, comp 3.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, you probably could have used the med team to lower the comp if you'd prefer.
But then it puts the diff to 6.
Yeah. Just pointing it out.
Okay. All right. I still have one determination. Suspend that. This is by far the most determination I've ever spent in a single episode. Spend that determination on sometimes you have to help those who can't help themselves.
Sorry, I think you spent your determination to stay alive, but we didn't roll to see if you still kept it.
Yeah,
That
that's right.
sounds
Oh, he's right.
accurate. All right.
So you have to roll veteran again.
Yeah.
Ave Varder. Come on.
Damn it.
I noticed that
Down
when
the
people
false
invoke the
god.
name, it doesn't work.
I tell you, Frolic is the new god. He's done it the most recently.
It literally happened earlier.
Well,
Okay.
better start
Alright.
digging into those milestones.
Yeah, no, I was gonna. Normally, I don't care for doing that because, well, I do keep track of milestones. Okay, all right. Control medicine. All right, let's see. I can find something. Okay. Looking through my notes. I have in your eyes ... which was the episode in which I believed that's when I saved Ven when we beamed down to the planet. Or I can go with marooned, which is when I traumatized Draven but then saved him immediately afterwards.
You could use marooned, yep.
All right, then I'm
God.
using marooned for dramatic irony, I guess.
Yeah, really.
Also, you've already taken into account the trauma.
Yep, we already have.
Okay.
You have 2 hits so far. Do you wish to buy any dice?
Mm-hmm.
It would cost 2 to buy a third.
All right. So yeah, all right. 2 threat, 4 threat. All right. 2 threat, 5 threat. Yeah, you can have 5 threat, and I'll just roll.
All right,
Wait, what?
certainly.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. And that
You
was
rolling
presence, by the
comp?
way, not control, but I think it's the same difference for you anyway.
It is the same number.
Yep, same number, so it doesn't matter. Oh, you just made it.
And spend 2 to squash.
Well, it
those
was
are
a
pretty
No, I
reroll
rerolled
anyway,
it.
right?
Wait,
Oh shit!
I,
Yeah,
I
never
rerolled
mind.
the complication.
Yeah.
presence medicine.
It's 10. It's 10 either way.
It's oh, I'm sorry. I'm having an off day.
It's all right. Aza, I will point out that your trauma has been treated by 1. It's been reduced due to
Okay.
because you kind of
exposure.
push through the trauma and find a way through it in the midst of this urgent neural brain operation in the middle of a hall room floor. Just kind of like, and somewhere somehow you manage to stabilize the child who's has 2 grenade. Actually, those grenades would poof because they were summoned and he was knocked out.
No, I'm totally picturing like the music goes quiet. The music goes quiet, and like he's just singing some prayer she said to Taven beforehand, trying to bring him back while working as quietly as she can. And then the dramatic moment passes where there's no heartbeat, and then he coughs and there's one beep.
I think they're stable, counselor.
All right. Get a bio bed and get them out of here.
Aye, counselor.
Get them. And I'm gonna stand up and I don't know, just look Pent in the eyes with like a mix of shock and indignation.
And Penn, I believe you're about to give an order.
I am. Lieutenant Commander. This is the reason why everyone was made to forget. So, I'm ordering you to keep quiet about all of this. If you do not believe you can, then I believe some more forgetting will happen.
That's threatening.
Yeah.
That is 100% a threat.
Okay. Asa like looks disgusted, but she's also kind of scared, so she's not gonna say anything.
Aza, you feel like you've had these feelings before. Like you've had this exact conversation before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In the scared and the disgust and scared, yeah, no, that happened last time too.
You know what? Without saying a word, Asa's just gonna walk away. Because anything she could say at this moment would make the situation much, much worse.
I mean, does she acknowledge the order?
Take your best guess.
Sounds like a no. She doesn't say anything. She just walks out.
Okay.
Or she's walking it.
Lieutenant Rylov?
Captain.
Is that yes, keeping it quiet, or hey, if I need to wipe minds again, I'm gonna do it.
Inscrutable is lovely. Just rather blank look. I will not tell anyone.
Then I would ask that you confirm that with the counsellor, and if she doesn't follow the order, then well, we'll be doing this again. This is a security issue until it's dealt with.
Has it already done what it wants to do? In pod.
I can't believe we found a fucking orb.
Has it, Captain?
What? You're a bit quiet then.
Oh, has it already done some of what it wanted to do?
Can't give you an answer to that for now, because records had to be deleted. Considering things are different, it's possible. For now, it's been contained to a further degree, so hopefully it shouldn't do anything more, but I believe that's also one of the reasons why what's going to happen at Narendra is going to happen, because that needs to get dealt with correctly.
Then I believe it has already made changes, Captain.
It's possible, but we can fully know what's changed when we get back to Narendra. For now, let's just make sure all entrances into that room is completely sealed off, no access.
It is only by your codes, so far as memory serves.
Well, somehow a child managed to crawl in there, so apparently not. So internal security has something it needs to improve on.
That may have something
I mean,
to do with not
I
remembering
learned all.
any of the protocols in place.
Things are going to have to change if a child can keep crawling through the ship and getting where it wants.
The statement stands that things are more difficult when you cannot remember the protocols that you have put in place.
Right. For now, go check on the counsellor. I'll deal with the alternative if she doesn't agree to keep quiet.
Yes,
Dismissed.
Angie. Inscrutable Angie.
Then-
I was about to ask.
You're not a psychic. You don't know. Angie.
Yeah.
Angie.
The scene ends. And we cut forward. As the senior staff boards Narendra Station, they are met by an admiral and a captain and a lot of security.
I'll walk up to the Admiral. Admiral?
The Denovan nods at you and says, "You are Captain Braglove Pend, correct?"
That is correct. I assume this has some connection with my cargo.
It has a connection with your ship having none of its civilian crew, your ship being short a significant portion of its staff, and it has to do with your ship not reporting in for a rather long time. Captain, I would advise you, one officer to another, to get yourself a JAG officer. Because once I leave this room, you're about to be placed under arrest along with the rest of your staff for dereliction of duty. I ask you not to resist. I ask you to get counsel as soon as possible. I will do what I can, but I'm running out of options here, and I'm in a very difficult position, and I need to figure out what's going on in a hurry.
Well, the last we knew, the civilians were on Vale. and you need to
He
be.
holds up a hand to you. Captain, the arresting officer is right over my shoulder.
Fair enough.
Talk to a lawyer first.
But there is a
All
matter
right.
that needs to be discussed quickly.
Presence command. Yaden thinks he has the right call on this. But you're trying to tell him something. He doesn't realize what you know. He thinks there's a whole other thing going on that's like, well, there's actually something else going on, actually. Presence command diff 2. It's not terribly difficult. Your reputation's pretty high. If you press the matter, he might just listen anyway. Hell with it.
Div 2, I'll just give you a threat.
Sure.
Diplomacy?
Certainly.
No.
Oh,
That's just a natural habit just to grab free.
you have these 3 too.
Maybe enter the side room just quickly. It's of rather import.
He turns, like when you say, he just gives you, he just nods. He turns to the captain and says, Article 14, Section 31. I'm going in that room. You're not coming with me. Don't worry, he isn't escaping. The Cajun just kind of blinks at him like, what?
Just add it to my charges. I'll walk him
That's
through.
not a charge.
Go, damn it. Sir.
No, it's not a charge. It's Pen to be a smartass.
Hmm.
That's all that is.
Yeah, pretty
You
much.
know, if being a smartass was a crime, Pend would be sentenced to death.
If you're a junior officer, they call that being insubordinate. When you become a captain, it's called having leadership.
Initiative.
Yes.
Admiral, it's best if we lock the room down for a second.
He presses some buttons, and you actually see a visible force field erect around you.
There's a portion of the ship that's got force fields around it inside, and the room has been vented. The Achilles needs to be taken to Bejor.
The hell do you have on your ship, Pend?
We found an orb of the power reefs.
He blinks at you.
Reality gate.
It's kind of like a reality gate. Things are going awry. That's why we've not been. Things are off.
I will consult with the chief of staff for the councilman of Bejor and get them to explain what's going on. I'll make sure it gets, well, Captain Rahara will make sure it gets where it needs to go on my direct order. And
yeah,
I have to take you all in, because frankly, things are getting out of hand, and moving one ship is going to be a challenge. Moving 2 ships, I'll explain more in detail once I brief your team.
just don't let anyone near that room. That's what's been causing the issues.
What is it with the Shackleton and its various bag of horrors? Every time people go in there, a new horrible thing comes out of it.
Hey, I went to deal with Iconians and came back with an orb.
See, Captain, I don't know how much that's a good thing. He taps the thing. He taps the field off. It'll be done. Don't worry about it.
Understood. Thank you.
He steps out. He types something on a pad, hands it off to Rahara. Rahara nods, walks over to security, hands it to one of them. One of them goes to the door and sprints off. You guys hear the door behind you shut, magnetically seal, and a force field pops into place. And then Rahara resumes her position.
Pend will put out his wrists. Take me to your leader.
The Admiral stands aside. Captain Rahara steps forward.
I'm side-eyeing Thralic and Pen, trying to catch an eye.
In reflection of your duties and accomplishments to Starfleet, I'm giving you the choice to come along, to surrender willingly and follow me and my security team into custody on the charges of dereliction of duty. Or, if you feel so compelled, either culturally, legally, or simply to make a point, I can shackle you. The choice is yours.
I will
And she
note for
looks
all
among
those-
the group of you. And then her eyes kind of look at Tabin, and she looks confused, like, the hell? And then looks back at Penn and the rest of you.
Just to note for the crew who is not penned, you would have also received Trollocs memo, which does state that we're intending to comply with Captain here. Captain Rahara.
Yeah. Oh, she's aware of it. She's just giving people the option. People want to be stubborn.
I was more talking to my crew. Saying
Oh, fair enough.
I'm telling my crew that I told them to comply.
No, Asa is formulating plans, but she's not dumb enough to resist at this moment.
Hey, if you're ready to go gorilla, so is Tavin.
I'm fidgeting with my tricorder.
We're a real Batman and Robin, you know?
Ven just looks very solemn.
Can we just go? Sarcasm's not hitting you, right? Is it?
I need you to surrender your phasers to the security team.
It's already on the ship. Why would I bring a weapon when I know I'm not supposed to bring one?
Trolloc will step over and detach her phaser and hand it over. She has hers.
Rahara gestures. Like, that's why.
I don't need phasers.
Security officer here. Like,
Does
I
anyone
bring
else
that
have
thing until I'm legally required not to.
You know, considering the events of the previous hour, Asa will also have to turn over a phaser she was keeping.
Yeah, it's a real request.
What about Rylov?
Oh, he doesn't have a phaser at the moment. It's almost like he knew ahead of time.
He's like, no, they're going to disarm us. I'm just going to leave it in the locker. Screw it.
I don't want any
Trolloc
dipshit
knew
fiddling
and
with
still
it.
brought it.
Yeah.
Yes, but Rylo's paranoid. Doesn't want someone touching his phaser, so he's leaving it locked away.
Yeah, fair enough.
The
That
captain
makes
was-
perfect sense.
In fact, it's probably not just
Captain
locked away,
threatens
it's
to-
hidden somewhere in the armory.
the
Like, it's still in
captain-
the armory where it should be, no regulations broken, but it's not where you would expect it to be.
It's not like where the chief of security's phaser is supposed to be.
Yes.
It's under
This
his
is-
pillow, isn't it?
It's, no, you can't plant something on my phaser, go away.
As either Ben or Arlen armed still.
You know, Penn's not.
'Cause
I
we don't
mean, I'm an engineer. I'm armed with my toolkit, so
Yep. You're of the rank that you could have a Type 2. That's why I have to ask, because a person could. You're a senior officer. You could have a Type 2 phaser, but you don't have
I would have one just on principle and based on our mission profile. So I will hand him my phaser.
Okay. Is Ven
But
armed?
I'm not going to hand him my engineering kit if not requested.
Ven is not.
Lieutenant Commander Asa, says Rahara. I was not informed that you had a child or a grandson or grandchild. She would say more inclusively.
Asa, like,
If you're not sure what you know, I'm gonna start crying because I remember my mother.
God.
no, I'm thinking Asa might honestly, considering the amount of stress she's under and the fact that so far she's being tight-lipped, that honestly might be like, I would say like maybe control command to resist just screaming at the lady.
Hey, you can choose to scream out or not. I'm not stopping you.
Yeah, that's
If you want to impose that role on yourself, you can. It's just a no momentum roll. To give you a guideline, if I were making someone do it, I'd make it a diff 2. If you want a guideline for how hard it'd be.
All right.
You can still buy dice and stuff because that's a function of dice. It's just a self-imposed role, which I'm fine with. Just pointing
All right.
out.
Well, look, you're pretty low on threat. So how about I give you 3 threat?
Certainly.
We can just give the GM threat without him even asking for it.
If you're
Hey, you
No, this
made
is
a
it.
very
terrible
kind
precedent.
player, yeah, like Aza's like I don't know, like there's like a twitch in her eyebrow, and she almost screams at the lady, excuse me, the man, the cat, um, but she takes a deep breath and says, Daba Tabin's mother tragically passed away on this mission. I am
Wait, what?
serving.
Wait,
Oh
she's in
no!
stasis.
She's in stasis.
Oh god, you almost killed me.
Don't tell him his mother's dead.
Jesus.
I'm just like a 1930s like Southern lead female actor. I'm just gonna dramatically faint on the couch here.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's very late.
It's okay.
Okay. Daba Tabin's mother is currently in stasis. Is in stasis indefinitely. I have been serving as this child's guardian. I have been serving as this child's guardian up to or until they are able to be returned to their mother.
I'm gonna cry even harder because I don't like this conversation.
Rahari just kind of looks very somber and kind of nods and looks at the child, looks at you.
The station's got to have child services, right?
Yeah, 100%. The station's got to have some form of child
Oh, yeah.
services.
Well, Rahara seems to be looking at Asa and Tabin is debating separating them or not. And it's one of those like, oh, I wasn't really prepared for this particular conversation.
Oh no,
crap.
Captain's sending me to jail. It happens all the time.
Yeah, the captain's debate. You know how evil he wants to be, and as a player, I have one answer, and as a character, I have a very different one.
Left counselor. Excuse me, Captain. Rahara gets a little closer as shouting over Tabin seems counterproductive. She moves a bit closer. She speaks still a conversation, but because she's trying to talk over a crying child that's right next to you, but still trying to make sure you're the one hearing it mainly. In your medical opinion, is it better that the child stays with you or goes into station protective services? You know the patient more than I do. We can accommodate in your current state continuing care, but you're the medical expert, so I trust your judgment.
I'm your get out of jail free card.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Get
Usually
out
we
of
just-
the actual prison cell card.
They can send you both to the rehabilitation camp. It's fine.
What house
It's very
arrest?
humane.
Yeah.
What were they to think? What were they to think?
I mean, not to influence too harshly here, but I remember that when Taven first came under your care, it was because we didn't have the normal civilian support structure in place that we normally would on the ship.
Yes, but she's also grown quite endeared to the little snot, regardless of how much she begroans him. All right. Could I make, because I can answer this however I want, but could I make an insight medicine roll to determine, in my actual clinical view, the psychological damages of going one way or another?
You could.
Okay.
Insight medicine diff. I'll say 2 here. This is a legit roll. You can get momentum for this.
Is that +2 from the relation to a child?
No, it's not. Diff 4. Complication 3.
That alone should tell you something. That
Yep.
you have trauma.
Is that his trauma you have to worry about? Actually, no, your trauma went down by 1, didn't it?
Yeah, no, well, it went from 3 to 2, right?
No, it went from 2 to 1.
No, it went from 2 to 1.
Oh, no, yeah, this one. That's what I have in my
So it only
notes.
increases by 1, yeah. So it's 1 and 1.
All right, whenever I say something this episode, assume it's not good.
Don't worry. It isn't just
If
you. I
that
don't
happens,
trust any
everybody.
players.
All right. Take 1 threat, 2 momentum.
Roger.
Hey, you made it.
Okay.
In spades.
The benefit of this is that David Tabin will be around someone he's familiar with and has some sort of relationship with, rather than going through the system. I mean, it is an advanced society, so the medical care system is rather robust in Federation. But the fact that Raharwa's asking you kind of implies that there may be something going on, that maybe this particular place is probably not his final destination. He's probably going somewhere else. So it's almost like the captain's hinting to you that something's up, that the system here may be a little not lax, but not as strong as it should be. That doesn't make it an absolute no, but so there's that benefit. There's that of the fact that you're probably the most effective caregiver at the moment until you know more about what's going on at home in the Federation, because you don't know. You've been away for a while, so something could have changed. Downside, though, the obvious downside is Aza's own mental well-being is somewhat imperiled because Tabin's kind of pressing on that trauma. And Tabin kind of does need trauma care. But the problem is once you kind of become his adoptive guardian, you now get into a fuzzy ethical area of treating someone who is your guardian. So that's kind of where you're sitting at. It's kind of there are two bad paths. Both paths are bad. It depends on which one you think is worse. Also, to extend onto the meta level, it depends whether or not Winchester wants to continue with David Tabin. If he wishes to retire it, then this is a perfect time for that character to step aside. If he wants to carry on with his story, there's a perfectly good reason to carry on here. I have ways to keep Tabin along.
If he wasn't going to die, then my general thought was once Ozza is able to treat the level 3 trauma, then I was going to retire him. But I could do that early or later, depending on. Well, I don't know. I guess it's up to me.
Yeah, I would not make that decision for you, so I will abdicate responsibility to you.
Generous.
Yeah, I'll probably say that. If for nothing else, then I have a superpower that allows me to that will allow me to escape prison much easier than y'all do. So that could be useful.
Wow.
I could just spend 2 threat to be in a different scene, which means as long as there's a scene that's not set in the prison or the detainment center, then right, I could spend 2 to just be there.
The worst.
Yeah, so I'll stay for now. So
Okay.
save me, counselor. Save me. You're my only
So
hope.
yeah, the counselor is just going to look down and see the poor boy sniffling and say, "You would. The boy needs a mother, and quite frankly, I don't trust whoever the system will put in him to raise him properly. He's at a very sensitive point in his life, and he needs the care of a psychiatric professional."
I trust him into your care until either of us are overruled. She shrugs at that, indicating on the meta level, she's also indicating that Starfleet Medical could totally overrule it, but right now it's a medical thing, so she's like, nope, this is a medical problem. I don't get to rule on that. So unless someone overrules you, I'm not overruling you. If you all follow me, please. The Admiral watches as you guys go by him. He eyes each of you as you pass.
I would like to wait for Tabin and offer him a hand and walk while holding his hand.
Yeah, I'll. I mean, I'm still crying. I meant, but yeah. Half crying, half planning my guerrilla campaign to get out of prison.
Where are we walking to?
Prison.
No, that way. Got it.
Is Taven following?
Yeah, I'm waiting on you, buddy.
Oh. Uh. No, now is not the time. They're prepared now. I must wait. I must bide my time. I will go first.
I love Taven so much.
Yeah. Thralic had this really esoteric statement about knowing when to strike your enemy, and I don't understand it, but I know it means not to do it now.
Yeah, and in the Ken Burns documentary, they make a big deal about how, the real battle won by the resistance was knowing when not to fight.
Admiral Yaden kind of looks over at your two's conversation. Doesn't say anything, just kind of like, what the hell is going on over there?
And knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, now that we're going to prison, I mean, you can't show me on a real phaser, but you can have a replicated phaser to show me how to field strip one, because you promised.
Oh god.
But yeah,
I did
I'll go
promise
to
you that,
prison with her.
Taven. Oh boy. All right, come on.
Whoop, well, he's gone now.
I have a revolution plan. I gotta go.
And with that, sitting out in the space dock, the lights of the Achilles dim. Its external navigation lights deactivate. And it becomes yet another lump of Durasteel sitting amongst the great starbase at the edge of the expanse. And that is the end of the episode.